Well, would you look at that? That's right, we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the first action of the season from the pit. That's right, Vanguard Gaming starting it up with a few fireworks on the left and the right-hand side of that entrance hall with a tournament tester today. My name is Correct Wisdom here, joined in the booth by the man with the powers, that's Austin himself. And whether you're Austin or Boston, we're keeping it NA today. It is an American tournament, so those of you sat in those American seats in the crowd, you'll be very excited that it's a home turf warfare we're going to feature for you. A ton of teams stacked up to be able to take part in this tournament today, and an even more stacked co-caster joining me. As I mentioned before, it's the man with the powers, Austin himself, another legend in the booth, and somebody who's been having a great old time in the Counter-Strike casting scene very recently, so I'm delighted to see the man join me back here in the booth today. Austin, how are we feeling? Any teams you're looking forward to seeing today, and do you have a favorite?
Oh, favorites. I don't know about any favorites, but definitely some great action we will be getting into today. Jen definitely, I believe, was one of the teams to look out for in some of the previous stuff that I had worked on. I have been out of the loop for quite a while, but because of the Counter-Strike stuff, like you said, but it has been a wonderful blessing to be invited back here, thanks to the wonderful production and stuff here at the pit. And honestly, Zen, Jen, Steez, and Evasion, some pretty good looking stuff to start out the match here today. All these matches.
Yeah, absolutely. Day one consists of two matches to kick it off with, both best of ones here. The first best of one we're going to get to feature today is going to have Generations starting off on the attack, going up against Steez, who will be defending to begin with. That map will be played out on Bay 5. As we said, the first two games today will be best of one, so that one there decided over one map. Bay 5 will get to see not just once, but twice in our first two matches on day one here, as Zenith take to the table attacking against Evasion, who will be on the defense again on Bay 5. So two best of ones for Bay 5 to start off with. As we said, Generations attacking, Steez defending for the first, and then Zenith attacking with Evasion defending on the second. That is only going to be one day of 4 total days worth of action that we are having here for this test tournament. And we say test tournament because this is simply going to be an appetizer for those of you in the audience here to watch. This is going to be a teaser for what is to come. The pit looking to set out a whole load of qualification tournaments in the future, rising up to one big bash out for all the glory. But that's thoughts for the future. For now, you guys in the chat get to just sit back, lock in those popcorn pockets, get yourself some juice or some goodies to drink meanwhile, and we're going to get some of the best arena action that ANA's got to offer for the next couple of weekends. We're going to be playing this weekend. We're going to give it a couple of weekends of break because, of course, as the main man riding the king crown in the pit here mentioned so very wisely in setup today, Mother's Day is coming up, and I definitely would not want to be on the receiving end of a boot for working on a day that was devoted to the loved ones. So I'm going to agree with him on that. We're going to skip the Mother's Day book, and then there's also a Walker's Mini Cup going on for one of the weekends in between. So we're going to play this weekend, and then we're going to rejoin you on the 26th, okay? Don't worry about noting that date in your diary. We'll give you a reminder for that one a little bit later on as we close out today's action so that you've got that one locked in. But we will be back 26th and then a couple more weekends afterwards. Basically, your next few Sundays are going to be very packed.
Packed and jammed, just like in the pit. We're all here to clash and find out who is going to make a name for themselves in this little startup for this series. Like you said, it is going to be a trial and error setup here, but that's perfectly fine. Every great prestigious tournament has their trials and errors and always has their beginnings. A humble pit.
We're looking for any form of feedback for anybody in the audience today that takes part in the tournament in any way, shape or form, whether you're a player, supporting staff member, the coaching team, or anybody surrounding, just as the emotional mental support, somebody that sat in the audience watching, or somebody that just happened to drive by and spot it in passing. You've got a comment, we'd like to hear it. Good, bad, it all helps improve the production and the quality of what we get to put on for you here at the pit. So feedback is always welcome, regardless of where it is directed towards. So please let us know. Reach out to the mods via the Discord channel. There are loads of text channels in there to be able to get in touch with the right people the right way. And that's the best way we want to see improvement is by us all coming together as a community to help improve. The pit, something that I've had the pleasure of being able to come and cast a couple of times over previously last year. An exceptional event, one that I don't try and move anything on my calendar for. Honestly, I make sure that I'm available for the pit when it comes up because it's something that is great to watch. The NA teams, for whatever reason, Maybe there's just a little bit more mojo when the pit's on, but they seem to really stick it to each other when it comes to the pit. Maybe it's this is where some of the inner rivalries are battled out, but nonetheless, that all happens in the background. We here in the casting booth, we're privy to some information, but not all the ingoings and outgoings of what happens behind the scenes, and gratefully so, honestly. A whole load of chaos. We just get to sit here and glaze over the amazing action when it happens in front of our eyes, and, well, we're going to look towards the first match and maybe put a couple of predictions out there, Austin. It is Generation on the attack. It is Bay 5, which is a very aggressive map from both sides of the perspective, attacking and defending. Do you think Generation is going to have the upper hand out of the gate, having that attacking side, or do you think it's going to be in Steez's favor with that defending half first?
Oh, well, Bay 5, traditionally a positioning and utility heavy map, as far as I remember.
Yep.
Nades are very crucial in certain timings for certain parts of the map. If you can catch somebody off guard with an early nade on the attacking side, the likelihood of you being able to cap a site off of that is very high, especially if if the nades for A main or the A site, and then if nades for red in outside of B. You can kind of judge, if you catch somebody with one of those, you can kind of judge whether or not you can move forward into either one of those sites very easily, because now it's either a 2v3 or 2v4 pushing into the site versus what it would have been was a 3v4, and it might have been a little bit more even in terms of setup. But I think definitely if the attackers are good on util and their presence is quick and swift, it'll be easier for the attacking team to get into the sites.
I think you put it into context extremely well there. I think the combination of the positioning and the utility is what really strikes out and shows through for a good attacking side on Bay 5. Sometimes not even necessarily picking up a kill from the utility usage, but just doing a bit of chip damage onto somebody or forcing them out of a position of comfort that you can then push in 2-3 members to that same spot and catch them off guard from the utility use. So I'm heavily in agreement with you there. I think we're looking for some aggressive plays out of this attacking side to try and start the tempo on whichever site they end up looking to plant on. We've seen many a time in lots of different Tarkov Arena recently, people choosing to try and fake out bait different sites by throwing util that way and then swinging the squad the other way, or through force of a bad fight being, I guess, having the hand made for them to have to alternate and rotate away from a bad fight to try and go for the other side at a disadvantage. So I'm looking to see which team's gotten a little bit creative with smokes. Of course, every time we move from tournament to tournament, there's a new iteration of the mentality of what teams think is the meta smoke to throw for defending, which one is the most powerful one to stop the most successful attack, and different teams go about it different ways. So I'm always keen to see the shift in the mentality from the background. I think Steez is definitely a team that's shown they're not necessarily willing to always conform to the meta as well, with Steez being one of the teams that's very adventurous with their weapon choices from time to time. We've seen multiple tournaments previously, so things like the AVT, not going to be a shock to be seen pulled out when other players maybe would shy away from it. A couple of other kooky ones depending on how the meta feels and who they're playing against, but yeah, don't be surprised to see Steez pulling out a few off-ball kits, shall we say.
Right. And so to go over the stacks currently we have Steez with the players currently in roster: Duck GTB, Ghost of Customs, Jess, Kimono, and T. Rolf. That's a pretty heavy stack. I know of Ghost of Customs and Jess, both of them very, very strong riflers, very strong in on the presence of how quickly they can command into a site. Yep. And then on the opposing team, we have Generations with I don't know how you pronounce that, Sinner?
Yep, Sinner, like SINNER, spot on, Sinner. Yes, sir.
David, Frosted, PvPer, and Roach. Also a very large stack. I know actually everyone but Sinner. I know all of them, and they are very, very like PvP intensive players. Like they like to pug a lot.
I mean, PvP has got it in the name. Absolutely, somebody who's
Right.
considered to be very strong in his ones and his twos in the fights. Frosted and Roach also names that if you play enough pub games in the evening, you'll run into them from the NA scene many a time. They're avid gamers, many hours played just playing the game. Honestly, one to roll back a little bit on for S3, the two maybe unknowns for yourself that maybe are a little bit more recent in the scenes, maybe why you're not so familiar there, Austin. Duck. Somebody who's made a good name for themselves since popping onto the scene across the last 2 or 3 tournaments. I think I've had the fortune of being able to cast. Very good, talented player. Couple of quite nutty clutches, actually. 1 or 2 clip generations from Duck that have been really good. And T-Rolf's like the dark horse for me. T-Rolf is one that I've yet to see another level of consistency from. He has moments where he does pop off and go nuts, but T-Rolf also is the player for me and Steez that sometimes just doesn't feel like he's there. Whether that's me falling asleep in the casting chair and not paying enough attention, or his role makes him the player that is more that backside of the team that's not necessarily getting all the highlight and whatnot. That may be the case, but either way, T-Rolf is another one to watch out for. Flip side to that, of course, you said about Sinner. Sinner's another one that's relatively new to the scene too. Has also put up a great performance each time we've seen them step onto the field. So there's a lot to look out for. A little bit of learning for you, Austin. I think you'll be delighted to see from the newer players you're maybe not so familiar with. But these two teams are pretty well balanced off the rip. You've got David's a bit of an unknown one for me. That's not one that's like popping straight into my head, whether that's a name change or somebody that's new to the scene. That's one I'm not so familiar with. So I'll be doing a bit of learning myself. And same goes for Kimono. Interested to see how they fit in. We know how good Jez is. You said it yourself. We know how good Ghost of Customs is. I think Jez has been a player that's been rather unfortunate with the rosters he's been surrounded by. Jez is an exceptionally skilled player, and he's actually just looking for the other 4 players to be able to make himself a good team around. I think Jez will be able to put a team on a level where they can challenge for the top tiers of NA. I just don't think he's found that combination yet.
Well, maybe this will be the combination that he's been looking for. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I think like you were saying though, like he could who was it you said? T-Rolf? You've seen him in a couple of tournaments already.
Yep.
I think, if he may not be pulling off those crazy highlights, he might be what in Counter-Strike we would call a support player, right? Where they know a lot of the utility, they know a lot of the pathings that players would take, right? He's not gonna. Those types of players aren't gonna do like crazy 1vx's in the middle of the map, like off the rip of the map, right? They're gonna be the players trying to calculate what's going on in the background and try and set the rest of their team up for success, which is not always gonna indicate a highlight play, something super crazy or anything like that.
Yep.
So I mean, each player's got their own part to play, so
that's where T-Rolf has seen to come in. That's where we've seen him do well. Is the back ends of rounds where maybe he's not needing to clutch up a 1v3, it's a 1v2 in their favor, and he's there for the final trade. He always seems to be able to consistently get the back end of the rounds or to do his job, right? That's where I say the dark horse of it is. It's like, it's not the highlight flashy 1v5s or whatever the crazy stuff may be, but it's consistently nailing the tone of the game. And with that, we're going to try and nail the tone of the game straight out the gate. I'm tripping over my tongue. There's 2 game gate queued up words with the letter G to begin with, not alliteration, but simply tripping me over. That, however, is the last of the yapping before the action. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, match number 1, Generation taking on Steez. We're already flying off into the action. It looks like Steez might already be up around. We've got Jez taking out PvP as we drop in, and Germ responding onto Duck.
Oh, that was very quick. By the time we got back in here, already 4 players have fallen on the side of Jin, and it's all down to center in a 1v4 situation, sitting here in the bottom of mid, looking to try and retrieve this bomb. But he may be trying to go into the 1v4, try to clutch it up for the team and secure this round, if at all possible. There is only a minute and 2 seconds left on the clock, though.
Yeah, you see Kimono's taking a deep anchored position out the back towards the alley. You've got Jess playing on site. That's just going to be as annoying as possible. Put a few pre-fire shots down either side of the scenery. Keep that bomb tucked under. Sinner left in a 1v4 with not all of his health left either, and a little bit more of it bleeding away by the second. There's a little bit of doom and gloom in the back end of this round. Generation looking very, very short away from going 2 down. And while Sinner's being shot from every angle other than the one he's looking at, the surrounding echoes of the blue team will bury the last member. 2-0. Steez start off with a good start on the defending side.
Look at how methodical just then Steez was. They had secured those initial kills, and then they had pinpointed his location based off the few shots that he had made, that Center had made. And then they just converged. They pushed into locations they knew were secure, and then they just slowly closed around him like a snake closing around a rat in a hole. It was immaculate. They just moved around, quickly consumed the enemy, and that was the round.
2 pieces of early util out here in round number 3. You've got long grenade going up over the top, short grenade towards the opposite side of the platform, followed in by an aggressive flash as the Generation squad looks to rush in onto this B site. Duck holding the line, takes one down as the entry turns into dissipation. Sinner buried 4v5. Generation have frosted a little bit of tickle damage. There's still 4 members left to work with.
Rounds being sent around on the A site, just playing in that forward back position right in front of Rat, but it's closed out very quickly.
Ooh, Kimono gets pincered from either side. PvP are going to pick that one up. Duck holding from this back alley position. Device getting planted. Frost jumps and challenge is very strong from Frost. That's a good headshot onto Duck. Ghost of Customs is going to pick up PvP here on the backside. And it's Ghost and T-Rolf to try and save the round.
3v2, 35 seconds, and still lots of time to work with here. Nothing to panic on. Just take your time, get in and out. But Frost going to find T-Rolf on that entrance there. And it's down to Ghost of Customs in a 1v3.
Not sure whether it's calmed out or whether it's just awareness, but they're really, really concerned about that alley position. You see both Ghost and T-Rolf really respecting that deep angle. A swing in from Ghost does take one out with a headshot onto Frost, but Germ, with a good crossfire hold from the 3 remaining members, is going to take that round back 1-1 into the hands of Generation to pull the scoreline back to 1 in separation 1-2. Generation on the attack, now starting to get a feel for this attacking side flow momentum. A very aggressive push in there too, Austin. They've not been deterred away from the failure of the round before on that B site. Instead, they're going to reapply, fortify, go again, and put one in the bag. Now, looks like a bit of an adjustment towards the opposite side of the map.
Definitely strong presence here, though, coming out from Steez. They have 3 players more anchored to. Oh, the big nade coming out from Center, going to take down Ghost of Customs, but Kimono has one of his own for Frosted. And there goes Roach barreling into the site, taking down one of the members on site. It's down to a 4v1 on this B site. One player in the mid there, about to lurk around red and go in to support his teammate.
Yeah, the lurk is coming in. Kimono's actually really made some great work on this site here, but we're going to keep a keen eye on the minimap as well as the action we're locked into right now. As this number 7 position from Jess is about to creep up on the back of PvP here. Actually, some insane camera work from the Spectator finds us in the right place at the right time, just like Jez. 1-2, and it's all starting to fall apart. Duck picks up one on site after one of the flank comes through. Now Sinner finds himself trapped out of the site they were trying to attack into. Bomb out deep right towards the backside. The jump shot from Jez is going to bury him, and that's the end of that one. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all she wrote. You want to talk about a pit? Somebody fetch me a shovel because we need to dig that man a grave.
Absolute teamwork, like, coming out of Steez right now. Like, they are doing everything that makes a team a team. They are, like, communicating clearly with each other about where they need to go, where they need to be, who's going to play what. They've clearly put in the time and effort on this map of what they needed to work out and work on, and so far it's shown very, very strongly here.
Much better trading out for space. Definitely not over-aggressing for positions of strength. Look at Jez's positioning here. He plays slow, he plays long, he waits for the magazines to drain, and then he takes his timing to swing out. He manages to pick up one. Response from Roach onto Duck. Jez for 2. Jez
for 3.
Going nuts on the 3rd. Then he goes down to Frost. And I think he's done enough, right, Austin? 3v2, bombs in sight, but the rest of the squad is very, very close.
And just like that, like I said, look, they're converging back onto the site. One player's on the flank, going to come through their main here in just a second, but Frosted finds Kimono through the wall. And it's down to a 2v2. Oh, Ghost of Customs catching Germ out.
That's through the smoke too. No way. So Frost is stuck in a predicament here. Bomb on site, but he knows he's got 2 players on either side of him. The tap of this bomb is going to try and force some movement, but You don't get the same shot through the smoke twice, unfortunately, Frost. You're not going to get that fortunate. Ghost is not going to aggress too heavy until he's got support. You can see the other player wrapping around to the door frame to try and give space. Ghost covers his angles. Left, right, little bit of a jiggle again into a position that's good for him. He tries to challenge when he is in a 1v1 situation, but Frost wins it out. Now with a slight mistake of timing, T-Rolf is left here to anchor, but this is where T-Rolf is shown to be good, sir. Last standing, ready to hold his ground.
4-1, Steve is absolutely showing up and showing out. T-Rolf finally picking up a kill there on that back half of that fifth round there. But a very important kill to get, securing a three round lead.
That's a good win there, honestly, from T-Rolf. Ghost did everything he could. I don't really think there's any fault in Ghost's play. He tried to kite the fight out as long as he could until there really was a good fight to try and take. But sometimes you just get outplayed when it comes to the shots. Better shots win out. Nades traded up and over the top of the heads there. Frost sees the one go past him and out of the scenery. He's happy that that one's safe. Flash into the corner is going to leave T-Rolf seeing nothing but stars. The smoke in front of his eyes as well is making this really hard to hold this back left corner for the B site. We see he's got support in Ninja. This prone position. Oh, it's so difficult to find him in that corner. He's going to sneak away. This is the play I think Steez have to try and just back out a little bit. Wait, the evacuation's a fake. Tucked into the corner. Is T-Rolf trapped? Jez is down.
That's a tough situation to be in, having to run around through that smoke and then getting absolutely tagged up.
Wait a minute. But Duck makes the crucial kill. It's a trade 1-for-1, but they've spotted the bomb. The two players that were stuck in a fight on the B site being held up for time are now alerted. They need to rotate back to A. It's 2v4. But at least they're kind of in proximity. This is tough. This is really tough. Generation should look to bag this one in to the scoreboard as a 4-2 going into the half. But we've seen crazier things.
Oh, PvP are going to find Kimono on the wide flank here. Customs working his way into the site here, clearing all the angles that he can, but gives his back up to PvPer as he goes to clear the guy in sandwich.
What's that common phrase they say? Who are you challing? At PvP, I had a little bit of that for a second there. Just a little bit of sauce.
What's the these are best of 9, correct? It's been a while since I've.
Yes, sir. Well, first 2-9.
Yeah.
Not best of 9. It's the first 2-9 by 2 clear though. So we go to 8 and we'll tie up for an overtime. But 8 rounds before we swap sides. 2 more for Generation on the attacking half. It does look like Steez have had the better side of the defending half. They secured themselves at least an even half here. Big ego fight between Roach and Ghost of Customs. Has Roach with his gun up first, and the shots connect. Kimono picks one up on the backside. This has been something consistently that Steez have had a little bit of strength from. Frost of PvP though. Oh, word. It's getting a little messy, Austin.
Short work of that site, clearing out every person in a matter of half of a second, opening that site up and getting the bomb down. 40 seconds on the clock. Steez left to fight for their lives to try and reclaim this site.
Numbers are in their favor. That flick from Jez is ridiculous. Good awareness, the 180 whip, and that man's ankles get broken. 2v2. Pre-fire in the left corner, Ninjas not present. Backdoor and Con has to be. Duck's left side's exposed. That's tough on timing. It's not Call of Duty, but it's Germ for 2.
And lock it in, bringing us in 3-4, ever so close to a tie game.
Doable before the half, 4-4. Definitely doable. Generation need to find another good couple of openers, and what they've really got to watch out for and avoid. First blood has gone to Generation quite a lot of the time. But the follow-up has been Kimono nearly every time. They're going to watch out and see somebody isolate off Kimono and shut them down before they're able to be good for that one. That rotates into bringing a round that's getting very much snowballed into Generation's favor back into stability. Big 5-man flood through gap towards this A site. The members know Kimono's there for the one first. He gets the first blood. Germ does shut him down immediately. Goes to Customs for two. As Steez feels strong holding the ground.
Duck rushing up mid. Gonna find that Roach player lacking and goes to Customs. Gonna find him through the box. Headshot. Steez 5-3. That's round 8 and the half. Time for a quick little swapperoo. Goes to Customs with 3 on that last one there. Finding some very crucial early picks as they run through the gap there.
Yeah, the positioning choice from Steez, actually, they're super effective. The spawn platform, hold, aggressive gap push position pays dividends. All 5 members flood out a gap. Kimono is only 1-for-1 trading, but then the shock effect of the shock and awe is completely and utterly spoiled as they are spotted. That grenade's going to bounce off of a piece of scenery, and I'm not sure that first lethal's going where it was intended.
The on Jen's attacking half, they had a interesting setup where one player was taking about probably 75% of the util. So I'm wondering if they just have a dedicated utility player.
Potential. Flash out into Con's going to clear for the push that's walking its way in. Sinner's probably going to have some good information that there's 1 or 2 people coming through. Sinner plays his time and patience. Shots from Ghost to Customs aren't quite good enough. Frost finds him in the response. 2 from the backside of sight as Generation holding really strong. The third goes down. It's Sinner getting involved as well. Roach, Sinner, all the work being done on the front side of the fight. I paused for a second as Jez almost saw the pixel to return. That pixel is going to be what's left of what was hopes for a starting first round in the second half. Generation's going to pick up there first and close the gap back again to 1. 4-5. Good work out of Frost on the entry, but it's German, Roach, Sinner together. We're starting to see a Generation performance match that of what we were seeing in Fluidity from Steez out of the rip.
Where did all of their ammo go? He swung that and just had no ammo. He swung through connector, sprayed the dude that was on the right-hand side of the door there, and then just didn't have any ammo to finish him off.
Yeah, something. Don't forget to reload, Dr. Freeman.
Must have been playing a bunch of Counter-Strike with the ammo change update.
Definitely. Now, Germs, again, managed to find one from the middle of nowhere whilst the site is being slammed. First point of contact, Germ now also. Damage-less so far, chipping away at the rest of the members walking the way in. Goes to Customs, lost the play off his shoulder. Kimono tucks into Rat. Sinner does one thing that it seems like the Steez team can't and takes out his teammate. Roach is going to put Kimono down, a hop, skip, and a jump, and that one ends up in a bump. 1-2 from either side as Goes to Customs and Jez get responded to by a 2-piece from Roach. Chicken dinner not quite served yet, though. It's Jez, the one that's last left alive to try and save this one for Steez. 2v1. Generation to level the score up 5-5. No way, no way. Jez, if you're getting here for a 2-piece, it's so gross. Jez! Oh, it's so
point fire.
Way. Oh, no. No, it was so close.
Point fire almost collided and grabbed 2 players for 1 there, but unfortunately, luck was not on his side.
Well held from Steez, honestly. It's a 2v1. Got to get that trade. Did you manage to get the trade? Yep.
Very smart play to go there.
This fast push from both teams. It's very volatile. If you don't get the entrance right.
Utility seems to be a bit lacking right now.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. The head glitch on site from Germ, again, is set up for greatness. We've seen how good Germ's been on entrance, but it's Duck finding a belting angle through the sight box to pick him up for 1. Good bit of pre-fire for pressure. Duck goes down. Duck dives and slides onto his tummy as T-Rolf takes 1. Sinner, Roach responded back up. The strong backbone of the Generation squad stands taller than that of the attack for 2. Sinner's cooking 3 for the round.
I think they need to start sending Jess in there first, actually. It seems like they're committing a little too many people to the site to run in very fast and not collecting the information that they need if Flashbang comes out. Does get a partial blind. Frost gonna pick off Jess. Now it's 6-5. Generation's favor.
Interesting turnaround, honestly. Steez feels like, I don't know whether it's the suggestion you're talking towards or something else they need to work to, but a little bit of an adjustment required. They have found themselves to be stuck in the mud, it seems. That momentum that they generated in the early part of the game just kind of ebbing and flowing away a little bit. Maybe a little bit of magic coming out of Ghost of Customs, or like you said, maybe Jez getting a bit more active early on in the round might be that little bit of secret sauce they need to unlock the key for the team. Oh, or we just get a bit of creature energy on the play. Okay. Strat book flip, Austin. We've gone from over 100 to below 0.
And just a very short walk it down. Take your time. Breathe it out.
And all the noise they're making over towards the
Uh-oh.
side. Mid. No! Sinners, good for 2!
Nobody was ready for it, but still 3 players angled up on this B side here. They only had the... Oh no, Sinna's going around the back. Around the outside he goes and swings. Kimono's going to find Sinner on that swing from the site, but the MP7 is not going to be fast enough from Kimono to take out Roach. 7-5. Now a 2-round lead. Jin looking to take this into their hands, into their generation.
He caught him sinning. 2 of them trying to fake out on the A site, making a load of noise and playing silly. Unfortunately, if you do that and mid gets aggressive, that was... Oh, you got to feel for him. The jump, the second he hit the jump, you knew. You knew there was a lurking sinner down mid. 2 in the lead, right. Austin. We spoke about that 9 victory required rounds total to get yourself out of the game with a success. Well, they've put the 2-round advantage onto the cards. Now they just need to trade rounds 1 for 1 all the way down to the wire, and it is done, dusted, and dealt with. Nothing too crazy required out of Generation now, just slow, steady pace and force Steez to make mistakes. Sinner trying to play Roger Rabbit, but unfortunately this is no hair allowed space. 2 from Roach.
Getting a little action off on our teammates here real quick. Just a little pre-fire, just make sure they know what's up. As we still try to execute on the B site. One player still sitting in their spawn, but I believe he is holding a piece of utility for their entrance here. Or he's boosted. It looks like, actually, yes, he's boosted up on top of the boxes, waiting.
Oh, man. It's like a game of speed chess right now. The 3 players inside of each side of the building are just moving the pieces around, like which can pressure in and push at the same time. T-Rolf, Duck's dead from elsewhere. T-Rolf somehow survives. Ghost finds 1. T-Rolf is still dancing on site. T-Rolf makes it work. Wait, 2 for 1. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Big swing around the right side. Germ looking to find 1. Does find 1. Ghost of Customs goes for it. He's going to find Germ off the back pick there. And now 7-6. Steve says they're not ready just yet to give this up. You know, I'm going to be honest, though. I believe Steve's... Some of the 2 team members that were faking A on that slow creep B play like 2 rounds ago, I believe they weren't respecting mid enough because Jess wasn't there.
Okay.
Because every other round, Jess has been playing middle, watching the mid for a push. I believe because he wasn't there, they did not respect the mid player enough in that situation. And that's why they got collapsed on very quickly as the player pushed through mid.
7-6. Steez have done one of the 2 things they needed to do to keep the game honest. That's pulled the score back twice over. Another quick push in from Duck. Some good aggressive pre-fire towards site, just in case a lurking Neo and ankles poking out from that sight box for some free flesh damage. Jerb. I mean, Jerm's taking a tickle. Kimono's in a similar place. So far, nothing substantial. Germ holding his ground, finds Kimono caught with the gun down as we're running in. It's Germ for 2 as T-Rolf. T rolls alongside of his teammates. Duck also decimated by one of the generational squad members holding down this site security. It is a slam fest on A, Austin.
And it's a 4v1, 5v1 now on the site, and Germ's gonna find him as he turns his head, turns from 1 slim pixel to 3 wide pixels.
Yowzers. That was a quick turnaround for one back. What was 1 is now again 2. Generation find themselves 2 rounds ahead of Steez and 1 round short of match point. 1 round here. We'll take the dub and bin off any thoughts of further action required. A simple execution. I don't expect anything too crazy from Generation. I expect everything crazy from Steez. Would not be surprised to see very aggressive push towards these com boxes is again going to be removed immediately. Sinner for 2, the first blood point of contact for Generation, yet again winning out. Goes to Customs, will clean up, but Roach is there for the trade.
Absolute unit Roach and Germ have been in this matchup here, but Sinner being able to find those picks early have really helped as the pop flash comes in. Teammate goes for the peek. He's half blind. That's holding the angle here. T-Rolf trying to find his way through this situation as Germ goes for the pre-fire. Just stuck in a very tight spot here, but looking to make space. Still 50 seconds to play with here. They have time on their side. The jump spot comes in and nothing is given away just yet. They do know, though, that both members are, in fact, stuck.
Yeah, I mean, this is very tough to get out of because this angle here in particular is just so tough to cross. There's so much distance to get through to get into con with your back exposed. They do both manage to get across, but then makes it really hard to have any time at all to have your guns up ready for Ninja. And it all falls apart. They all fall down. Generation claim themselves that first game victory here at the pit. It's going to be a 9-6 scoreline for Generation. Steve sadly unable to claim the W.
It was a very hard fought battle, though. I really thought Steez was going to be the one to take it out here. But it looks like their attacking half was struggling a little bit more there than their strong, solid defense that they had off the rip.
Could talk to me about also something you mentioned during the game, which I think is a very valid point, which was a little bit of the utility, and I don't think this was one team-sided either. Slightly loose. A little bit wayward. Maybe
Definitely.
couple of lethals that could have gone in slightly better placement, might have done better for either team. So maybe just tightening up a little bit. Again, of course, first game of the series, tournament completely just starting on this one, so everybody's going to be a little bit loose, right?
Yeah, I think definitely need to spend a little bit more time, both teams, with their util practice. I mean, that stuff, once it was added to the game like it was very apparent that it is needed for it to be strategic, or the strategic advantage, right? And I think, especially on Bay 5, not respecting mid, and not having somebody to make sure nobody's rushing up it will definitely bite you in the butt, like it did in that round. I think it was 6-7 on that round.
Yeah, I'm just actually looking across the scorecard now and a little bit surprised, actually, a couple of the scorelines. I mean, Sinner finished off that last round there at 12-12, despite how many times we said that he got himself good for 1-2 on entry. Obviously not having the better side of some of the earlier rounds where Steez were successful. So maybe that's something for Steez to look forward to the next time this matchup comes around, is, maybe working towards more isolating Sinner and stopping him being able to get off that double kill. I mean, for me personally, playing that combox area, it is favored for 1, but I don't think it's favored for 2 kills every time you're pushing around there. If you're pushing around there 2 versus 1 and you're consistently losing that 2 versus 1 fight, there's probably something to look at there in the odds to improve for next time over.
Right. And he was definitely very consistent with his 1 person for 2 coming around that parkour area, picking off the players very quickly and successfully, especially when he's going wide flanks. Like he was very powerful in that scenario where he would be picking off people that just weren't ready for him. He was just in places where they just weren't ready for it. So I think overall, definitely a good showing though for both teams. Generations though happen to just be a little more locked in at the given moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both teams showed that they have the textbook build for a good aggressive push towards both sites. I think both teams showed that they could execute that push as well as also having difficulties when the defending side's done a good job against it. So, it's definitely something that's in the wheelhouse, but again, probably needs a little bit of work on to finesse it. There was a lot of attention from Generation played in towards audio because of those aggressive pushes. That's how Sinner managed to create himself so much space down the mid push that one time, as he's not heard the aggressive stomping towards Hell to have to hold into that combox position. So he's not stepped up. Instead, he's gone down mid because he's heard no audio whatsoever. And he's then found the two people that were making noise towards that A site that were trying to bait for the fake and switch towards the B site. And in doing so, Sinner then found two of them with the backs open because of good just audio awareness all around. And then, like, I call it map tempo. You kind of recognize that by 5 to 7 seconds that if you've not heard somebody here, you've not heard footsteps here, or you've not heard this metal cue here, that they can't be in one of 4 different locations. That then narrows down what sort of play is coming in, where the end goal for the bomb is likely to be, or whether they're trying to bait out that they're going that way and are actually doing something completely different. So good use of audio all round from Generation, I think, was what won out the day on the map. But again, can't be losing 1v2s on the defending side, I think, is the takeaway from Steez. Need to maybe lock down on that one. That being said, we've got another best of 1 on the same scenario, same map coming ahead of us just now. Zenith, as you can see on screen, will be your attacking side as we return to Bay 5. Evasion taking to the field defending.
Oh, yes. Zenith and Evasion. Two teams. Evasion, I am familiar with. Zenith, I don't. I might know some people from Zenith. But as we go over that, we'll go over the roster list. Currently, we have Cryo on Evasion, Cul-de-sac, Panic, Papa Waffle, and Zombieland as their current roster lineup for today. And on Team Zenith, we have Exofix. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Gemini, Garrick, Monks, and Tone would be the lineup for Zen.
I recognize a couple of these names, and I'm not sure why I recognize a couple of these names. They've got... Hold up. This is Exotics. Exotics, Tone. Yeah. I think it's Gerekka, and then is it Monks, Tone, Exotics, Gerekka, and Gemini. They've got subs, Floppo, Faded Jaeger as well as part of the roster starting lineup, like you mentioned today. This is a new one for me, because Zenith was the name of a team from a little while back that didn't play for a couple of tournaments. So I'm assuming this is a new and revitalized Zenith roster.
It for sure looks like it, because none of those names are ones that I remember from previous tournaments that I have watched or participated in. So, I mean, maybe Garrick. Like, I know that name. I know that. I don't know of them, but I know the name.
The name rings a bell. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Same for Tone. I've definitely seen and/or have played against Tone before, and I'm wondering where. Maybe this is a team that's about to pop out of the shadows and surprise us. They're going to have a good test against them to begin with, because Evasion has more than established themselves around the scene through a different variation of rosters across the time. Cryo Drolic being one of the main standing members that has stuck it out through multiple iterations of this roster and been trying to make it work. I think another one that's been here quite consistently is Papa Z, Papa Waffle even, and Zombieland. I keep saying Papa Z because I keep thinking of Waffle and Zombieland as a duo. These two kind of do come together, but they play very well together as well. So don't be surprised to see Waffle and Zombieland making some magic on the scene today.
I know Panic has been a long-standing member as well. I'm pretty sure of EVA, like since conception almost.
The Evasion long-standing as a whole team, then, if we're putting it that way, and that bolstered performance from some good team synergy and working together for a long while. I always have been a big person to sort of speak on the strength, right, of putting a bit of work into a team as growth and development rather than just swapping roster players all the time to try and find that magical combination. I think synergy can be built as well as bought. So good to see that they've tried to work together as that team to develop. We'll get to see here today just how much of that work has paid off. They got themselves a test, an unknown test, Austin. It's very rare for us to have an unknown team in the arena scene.
I think it's more like about like what you were saying. Teams like strength can be bought, right? But I think like there's more, like you were saying, there's something more to it, to having a team that has just worked on perfecting something for so long. You know, like I feel like they're like the underdogs. I feel like most teams just go out and get themselves some new players that just already are the best. And then you come with like these teams that have been with each other for so long and they can outperform them if they've gotten all their roles mastered.
Yeah. Some W comms in the background, actually, production just reaching out into my ears and giving us a little bit of a nod. So the Zenith team name, it is the same as a different Zenith team. So it's the same name, but it's a different team. Essentially, the previous Zenith team is inactive. We don't see them participating in the tournaments at the moment. So it's all right for them to also be named Zenith, as essentially there's no one to compete with, I guess, for the name. But should the original Zenith turn up, I guess there might be some spice in the background on that one. But that's a Coronation Street episode for another time that we don't have to worry about right now. All the folks at home need to know that it's a different Zenith, but it is the same name if you like your alphabet.
Bay 5 again, though. Definitely, like I said before, heavy placement, timing, utility. Always going to be those three things that make up most of these maps, to be honest. Bowl specifically is more util heavy, but Bay 5 is very timing and util based of a map. If you don't respect one of the three lanes, you might find yourself in a pickle.
Util use. We're going to say it multiple times in Bay 5 because it is very, very strong, but the cover for mid pushes, like that of what we saw from Sinner, is a nice softball throw underarm grenade over the top of the container at the backside that just catches him over aggressively pushing down mid for a free pickup. And it's a very common grenade, actually. It's a pub nade, but doesn't mean it's not as effective at the competitive level. In fact, those kind of grenades that you just throw on a bit of improv off of good info, they're the kind of grenades that turn rounds around in this one. We've seen Hydraulic both individually and lead his team to some great victories through some of that creative gameplay. And we'll be looking forward to seeing more of that here today. Obviously, Captain Cryo is the man that goes down with his ship. He doesn't leave his team behind. And he's always been very good at holding his own when it comes to clutching up in less than advantageous rounds. I'm really interested to see how this new team of Zenith is going to stack up against Cryo and co, because we kind of know what they all look like, right? We know how Zombie plays, got a relatively good idea what Panic and Waffle look like, played against Cul-de-sac many a time. You know, there's a lot of known factors there. Gemini, Exotics, Monks, Tone, Girek, we have names. That's it. For now.
Hopefully they'll put up a great showing for us and show us what they've been working on. Hopefully they have everything lined up here. I would like to see a really promising match out of them, as them, I guess, saying since they're unknown, they could be considered the underdogs in this scenario here.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's an unknown factor or an underdog. Whichever way you look at it, we're going to get a good understanding of where they're going to stand versus the rest of the pack from this first match for sure. I think if you are struggling to put rounds in the bag against Evasion, you're going to find yourself having a tough, difficult time against the likes of a Sicario or somebody else at the top of the tables. No slouch to Evasion. It's not putting them down in any way, shape, or form. It's merely an accurate reflection upon the scene. Evasion, I would class as a team that are able to compete on their good days. They haven't quite found that perfect chemistry yet to be able to fight for the top 4 spots consistently. So still obviously looking to try and develop themselves, but Evasion, a solid team that if you've not got your fundamentals right and you turn up to the table kind of mocking the seriousness of the competitive environment, Evasion will put you in the bag for it, and very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're completely right on that. Definitely. I think, honestly, this should probably be a fairly good matchup. I've seen Garrick. I've played against Garrick before in pubs, so I know that he is at least same caliber or better than I am, which isn't saying much, but I have seen them playing and they play well. So that should be, if anything, if he is the anchor for Team Zen, I expect at least that quality level coming out from them.
I've got some predictions actually coming in from the chat at the moment.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's the prediction?
Well, I was going to say Demon, but it's Dem Knowles, though. All right. Dem Knowles, though, reckons that Gemini's top fragging. We've got Corsanator, who says Gemini is a ranked warrior. He doesn't have it in comp. There's a little bit of reflected opinions here, back and forth, it seems. We're not sure. There's some positives in the chat that believe that this team is going to drop bombs, and there's some people that are saying that they are just ranked warriors. Now, I think you could argue, Austin, that some of the top tier players, some of the best players, even in the likes of the Sicario squad and so on, you could class some of them as ranked warriors too. I don't think being a ranked warrior necessarily makes you not fit for the environment, right? I think that's a compliment, personally.
I mean, a lot of them always held the top spots in ranked. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah. I think ranked is what it was, because it's not. I don't believe it's currently active, but I believe ranked was just kind of like who can pub the best. So it didn't really reflect your skill. We got a quick boost coming out of Tone here right off the top. Going to be looking for a early pick, but not going to be finding anybody just yet. Smokes and nades come out. There's the flash, full blind. Cul-de-sac. He's got the broomstick. He's ready to swing. He's going to sweep him up.
Yeah, a little bit of that consistency we spoke of out of Evasion, a little bit of the familiarity with the environment settling in for them. It's a 2-player B site hold with close contact and support from across top mid. 4 members
Exotic's
moving.
Finding his way into the site, though.
Oh, Cryo! He gets shut down as quickly as he makes the flashy play, though. It is only a 1-for-1, but Cryo goes flying for a second. His feet find the ground, and then he takes a dirt nap. 3 for 3. Bomb is on site, being planted. Cul-de-sac.
I see Garrick is a fan of the Val. Oh, and so is Monks. Okay, cool. So, ooh, and a quick little spray finds the headshot on Zombie there. Tone going to pick off Cul-de-sac on the back end there, and it's down to a 1v3, but as quickly as it was 1v3, it is 1 no more. Now we have it Zen picking up the first round.
2 on Tone, 2 on Garrick. Good start out, Zenith. I think a little bit of a
MRS. What a goblin.
Wait, yeah, okay, I'm with you on that one. No, please continue that conversation, because I'm also not a fan. I'll actually give me the broomstick with the irons at this point. I'll take that over this for the one. Here we go. That's some good util use out of the gate. It's a little high, catches on scenery. Return nade lands and takes the knees out from Panic, but it's a simply slightly less than green torso all round. 3 members here close by. Panic's going to have to go nuts. 1, close, 2. Panic gets good damage down onto the bomb as well.
Good call on the rotating back. Definitely falls back for a good position here. Going to swing into Tone, though. Oh, it looks like they might go for the double peek. 1 finds out the bomb does take down Panic. That's going to be the site open. 3v3. Their trades are very consistent and back and forth, but Cryo still sitting on the site, finding Garrick. 3v2.
This is where Cryo's experience will play to his favor here, because that time in there, he just steps in behind the scenery as the check peek comes through from Zenith, and then steps out the second he takes his eyes away from it. Of course, prone but not alone. Angle held towards Con. The 3 members of Evasion are not going to allow free access to this site. Tone and Repent's like gearing up to swing this. You can see it in the form and posture that he wants to push, but Tone's just waiting for somebody to try and make the mistake of Luz picking up top like that. Repent finds him. Uh-oh, 2v2. And it's
Good
back on the
early
cards.
swing, but Repent is half HP. Gonna try and heal himself back up a little bit here. 2 members very low.
That's a dead body that's faking Tone. Tone doesn't realize that's just the model of somebody from the box. He actually helps helping Waffle out. Zombie and Waffle together find isolated picks. Austin. Somebody call Lemony, snick it and tell him to get back to bookmaking. That's crazy. The arm of the model not only baited him twice, but blocked all the bullets on Waffle. Oh, man, I feel for him.
I still can't believe he's using an MRS. I don't understand it. The site's so fuzzy. Like, how do you get anything done with that? But I mean, to each their own.
Is that just a gamer's cheap way of saying I've got a missus?
Maybe. Cryo definitely dominant on this B site here, playing to his strats of in and out of the site. Does find one in the quick close up. Cul-de-sac gonna find another, and there goes the 2-piece. Cryo picking off 2 members. Zombie finding the final in the middle.
Evasion have woken up a little bit. That first round with a crazy, a little bit of tech coming out of Zen. Well, woken Evasion up. They were. I wonder maybe if they were thinking they were going to get a little bit of an easier game than what Zenith had come out of the gate with, and well, just as we expect from Evasion, they put the foot down. They step it up a notch. Round number 4. Exotic straight out of the gate. Big nade. Up and over Con for smoke. Into the boost. Again, they're looking for this peak. Panic is going to get into position without too much damage. This peak has been very good on timing, but it's not found the result they've been looking for. More util goes that way. The team pushes into heaven. Second boost.
Lurking.
Oh, they know. Look, you see Evasion react immediately to the first boost. They now realize that there's many a boost upon boost that they could get caught from. So instead of holding open areas, they just lock down the site location and choke points.
Oh, Cryo with a quick headshot onto Garrick as he comes out onto that forklift area. Panic working his way through parkour, trying to get on this flank here. If he moves a little bit faster, he'll find at least 2 with their pants down. There's one. Gonna fall back. Smart choice. Get a kill, secure some space for your team, and then continue on. Cryo gonna find Exotics, though.
Exotics at this point in time is wondering where Monks is. Monks, though, is going to be yelling to him. He's pinned between a rock and a hard place as that gap position for 2 is leaving him exposed. Meanwhile, Repent does manage to find one on the opposite side of the pitch. Swinging in, Monks does absolutely mug Panic off for their positioning. Dirty set of shots, puts the 2v4 to a 2v3. Side of backside, Repent finds this. He's actually got a 1v1 here. Does he read Ninja? That's teammate. 2v1, cul-de-sac's in a tough place. One goes down. This is a 2v2 now, and we're wondering where the rest of the Evasion squad is as the Zenith team moves in onto site. Bomb is going to be planted with no issue or stress. Pre-fire from Monks is going to find Zombie 2v1, and we're about to see a miracle. Zenith pulling off a great clutch. Monks and Repent together. It's done!
2-2 now. Zen finally picking up the change on the ground, finding their transaction there. 3 on Monks and 2 on Repent. Very strong entrance into the site after a moment's respite.
I'm confused.
Hey, look, I was hating on the MRS, but he did work with it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's only part of the confusion. That really was well played. That's the grenade that Evasion have been looking for, though, is the counter nade for 2 to hell. Oh,
and
no.
that's going to give bomb information that they know it's in hell if they've heard it from the beep beep coming from that corner there. What a big nade.
Momentum breaker. Look at how still everyone is now. Also, I'm going to keep my back set of sensors locked towards Waffle, as we do see their position set up for greatness in the future. Oh, don't need to do any movement right now when that happens. Yep.
Eric trying to get a little piece of cryo there. Oh, Waffle coming up on the flank. Looks like he's going to go up. Oh, here he comes. A pre-fire comes out a little too early.
RPD just going to sing out as the rest of the squad walks up. Audio cover and suppressive fire. Going to make short work of the last. 3-2, Evasion take the lead.
So far, both teams definitely in good standing for efforts that they put in so far. Definitely a interesting setup so far from Zen. Definitely playing a little bit predictable to be caught off by that nade, but
what does happen again?
Like
oh, they're past it. 1 for 1. But the smoke is really good. Yeah, the smoke's really, really good. It's actually holding them in more than enough space. It's all on Panic. Zombie's going to get one. Good fight out of Zombie. Where is Panic? Side's open. Cul-de-sac steps in, but Panic's... Correct!
Oh, he finds
Monks. 2. No.
Oh. Repent on the swing finds one. It's down to a 1v2, though. Repent does have the bomb on his shoulders.
They're so far away from each other. Repent just needs to realize that he has 2 isolated fights whichever way he goes, and he just needs to choose to try and take one of them. Tons of time. Oh.
He's going for the peak, but Panic's sitting very patiently and waiting. Playing on that audio. Waffle's pushed into Con. Spray comes out. Waffle's going to take down Repent. That's going to be another round for Evasion. 2-4.
Really well played from Evasion at the end there, actually. That was getting messy and very quickly. Monks and Repent between them doing some great work towards the back end of the round to pull the numbers back in their favor, but the 2v1 at the end, they don't rush in and give isolated ones. A good recognition from Evasion to bring both members together and to finish it off.
Very good communication on part of Evasion there. Wait for me, I'm coming. I will back you up, and then we'll swing together. And then they did so in an elegant fashion. Cul-de-sac, however, going to find somebody with the broom, sweeps them on out of there.
Yeah, it's good to see Cul-de-sac putting a couple more on the board. Quieter game from Cul-de-sac so far, but somebody who I've known to be exceptionally good at this game. Also great to talk to. Very present in the chat. Cul-de-sac likes to get involved in the good conversations.
Idea.
Wow, they do, apparently. I thought you were right. I thought he was going to mug him clean off, but apparently Tone is more than able to recognize when there's a player missing below his scope. Pulls down real hard. Ooh, AVT territory.
Oh.
Tone's in his inventory.
Can't see him just yet. Might have spotted the elbow. Nope, does not see the elbow there in that little silhouette. The head pops out. Tone gonna find Cul-de-sac on the back end there. Looks like the site is becoming more and more open as they creep in, but...
Okay, jump peek from mid's good info. Still 4v3, 40 seconds on the clock, Austin. The timer now starting to become a little bit of pressure as Zenith realize they have to push in. Tone finds Zombie.
It is down to a 2v4. This should be completely in favor of Zen right here. Panic, though, on the flank. Cryo in sandwich, making their way on. The spray comes through, does not find a kill. Cryo has made his way towards the white van. Does find Tone on the white van. Does he know there's a player close, though?
Yeah, the hopes were dead and the hopes dissipated away. Oh, Cryo goes down. And there's no return trade from Panic.
All he has to do is secure this against a 1v3.
All he has to do.
Simple, easy.
Casual stroll in the park. Couple of wall bangs and a good 1v1 and you're fine. This is a tough one to take. He is going to get an angle
over
Vince.
aggression there.
8 seconds left on the clock. You got to full send at that point, right? Rather go down swinging than go down singing.
I mean, you could say for an op, I guess.
True, true. Wait, that's not Counter-Strike. That's not how this works, buddy. Wrong game. It's another good round out of Evasion. They're going to keep that lead in their favor. We are going 1-for-1 round for round at the moment. Staying ahead of the tempo is always good. We said this about the majority of scorelines for close games, whether it be top of the table, mid-ranks, or lower tables in the season. It's a keep it close, keep it contestable. You stay within 1 round, you always stay 1 round ahead. You're always 1 round short of being able to take the dub home. Extend that 1 to 2 at the right time. You go to 9 to 7, and you don't have to worry about overtime. So, Evasion happy to take the tempo on the scoreline, but for this one, with the last round of the first half, Zenith's last round of attack, and they will be looking to bag up an even scoreline as we swap sides. Nade out late, Panic's looking to try and improvise, gets caught with the pocket hands. Not quite ready on the gun. Exotics finding one.
Oh, the dip. Crouch at exactly the wrong moment, unfortunately. 3 on 5.
Wait a minute. Nobody's here. 1 minute 10 goes to 50 immediately. 20 seconds knocked off the clock. Oh, cul-de-sac is caught, just lost. There's no information now that the team of Zenith have fully flooded in towards this site. 5v2, too many angles to hold, and wow, you're just praying for a mistake. Not much to say about that one, unfortunately. It's that's the way the cookie crumbles when you're left in a 1v5. The RPD might have enough rounds to kill everybody, but you've got that many angles to check. It's mere time before you walk into a pincer.
4-4 though, very strong for both teams. It seemed EVA had the lead there for a bit, but Zen definitely turned it around and stepped back up.
Switching sides now. Evasion on the attack. Have to see what they have in response. Zenith have done a good job of keeping the scoreline even. It is a 4-2-4 scoreline as we go into the half. So Evasion now required to do that or better to come out with the result.
Early nades. Position being taken up on B alley. Bomb is B alley. There is one player waiting for them. Tone versus Cryo here. Makes the close off angle. Will Tone give audio? Not quite yet. He will do it as the teammate engages from sight. So that's going to give the bomb away to back alley. It's down to a 3v4, but bomb is no longer in their hands.
Very wide open hold from Zenith here as well. You see all 4 members in a rather large trapezoid over that A site. One member babysitting the bomb, but the rest of the 3 members always in more forward pushed positions. Play point of contact and audio information. First gets that information, tries to escape out to the alley, but Panic is able to sandwich in with Zombie to find an angle before they're able to jump away from there. Now good information tells Evasion there's probably at least 1 more in that back alley, if not 2. We see on the minimap, fortunate that there are 2 there. You can see that Exotics has corrected himself into a position. Monks goes down. I'm really keen to see how Monks plays this off here. Look at Monks about to step out behind. Exotics is the one that's picked it up. Interesting. Monks goes down.
The corner.
Yeah, Monks goes down, Exotic squeezes the gap, and oh no, Panic. Wait, 5? 4? There's no time. There's literally no time. Evasion just can't get to the bomb in time. How? Okay. How did Exotics get behind them?
I think it was because So initially, one of the members ran up back alley and then tucked into an off angle position, waiting for his other teammate from the side to engage. And when he did get the swing on two of the members, which made it horrendous for them because one of those members was carrying the bomb. So then they got stuck in a 3v scenario without any bomb control or knowledge of where the players were at any given moment.
Yes, sir. Flash going on in towards this A site. Evasion looking for a much more faster tempo push towards the site this time over. Tone finds one. Cryo goes down. Jump peek over the top of the forklift. Either side of site is not going to find the defending plat player. Two in. Repent, cul-de-sac, Tone and Monks all knock players over. Oh, cul-de-sac. 4 versus 1. 1 minute 20 left on the clock.
Uh-oh.
And a whole load of smoke.
Run! Bomb is on his back, though. Still has a minute 10. Not quite low enough on the aim there.
Yeah, Tone's still prone. Didn't quite catch him that one.
Kills very evenly spread apart on the Zen side there. Very even spread. 5, 5, 10, 8, 7, respectively.
Now, definitely a lot of technical adaptation going on with this smoke up the top here. Absolutely a diversion tactic with full intentionality employed there to try and draw the eyes of the defending team up to the sky so they can play aggressive swings whilst they're distracted. That one's not going to work out, though. Obviously, Evasion more than ready for quick tricks. Exotic's going to pick up a kill onto cul-de-sac. The bomb that went down is collected. Panic doing everything else other than that right now, keeping it cool inside a mid lane. There's going to be 2 down for the Evasion side as a 3v5 ensues. Tone still prone. What was that back alley position? Girek is going to pick up Zombie in the backside, and we are slowly but steadily seeing Evasion wane.
Zen just picked up more steam, I guess, on their half here as defending. Quick little jiggles and a jump shot from Waffle comes out, does find the headshot, but the site is completely open to them. They do have the space to take here, but Panic needs to be working his way faster, help clear into the site. Unfortunately, now it's down to a 1v2 as Panic quickly, not panicking, finds his kills, but that's not going to be enough. Zen going to get the defuse on this here, 7-4.
Yeah, unfortunately, only an apprentice, not a monk just yet. Needs to go through some more training before he elevates to the same level as our monk here. Gonna pick it up. Zenith extending that lead by 3 to a 7-4 scoreline, put themselves 2 rounds away from victory here in a very strong first game showing for this new team.
MRS is absolutely diabolical.
It's killing every time we scroll past it. I can hear you take a small, sharp intake of breath of pain into the guts. It's just like, why? Somebody's like just gently stabbing you in the back every time you see it. Just like, leave me alone. Get off, man. Like, I get it. He's using it. It's not great. I'm not happy about it. It's fine. We've moved on. You're still stabbing you
with that
still
MRS.
No,
7
back.
and 5, bro. 7 and 5 with it, though. Definitely putting in some work. It's definitely shown that the sight doesn't really matter. It's about the skill of pointing, and that is exactly what he's been showing here so far.
Honestly, the real letdown is it's an MRS that's not on a gold weapon. That's all I'm saying. Where's the mastery? That's all I'm worried about. No barcode on that scan. Now, we've seen Monks do some really good work from the deep position back towards this ice cream truck. We actually saw it in the last game where Steve's played a good position on this defending side towards an aggressive push on the A side. The adaptation here is Evasion haven't put everybody through that gap position, so only one is going to fall prey to the anchor. Tone has support from Repent. Waffle is set to challenge to soon 3. Look at how patient Zenith are being. Look at how well they're holding. It's just nobody getting over aggressive for a fight. One goes down, then they push up with multiple numbers. They trade out in the back alley using those numbers to their advantage. 2v3 left on the map, though, and the other two are going for the full M&M. Around the outside, and to the other side. This bomb going to be planted down towards B. Nobody's here.
Now they have all the time they need to set up. They just need to take crossfires and not get too aggressive here, and they can take away this round, making it 7-5. But if Zen gets their aggression in and they're not ready for it, it will be match point as Cul-de-sac creeps around the outside, turns around, starts to give his back towards the enemy.
I like this. Try and take one, isolate them out of the fight. Try and force them to chase him. He's going to push back as far as he can. Panic finds one. Peek from sight. Panic finds two. He's tucked into the animation of the reload, but he's tucked behind the cover too. Tone now left all alone. Tone alone, not quite caught on the phone. The reload takes too long, and it's Panic here at the disco that's going to dance the tune of victory.
And a little 4-piece for him coming out there. 18-9. Absolutely diabolical.
You got to feel for Tone there. He gets two, and then the mobile goes off. He's like, Mom, I'm in the middle of a fight. Leave me alone. Not now. The reload just took that little bit too long, bro. The click, it's always pulling the bolt back that does you. If fast reload or not, that additional, I drained my mag to 0 is killer sometimes.
What do you think would be faster? Reloading with double tap R or swapping to your knife real quick and reloading in your inventory and tabbing back into the game?
Definitely the swap. Most definitely the swap. You can probably get in and out of your inventory quicker than you can the bolt. As crazy as that sounds, that's some hella micro though. We're talking like Destiny 2 level kit swap style of going in and out of your inventory. that's like some level of wild. Console players will be having a whale of a time.
Do that for sure. Eric, Heinz Panic on the back end. Panic was not ready. Teammate must have not called out the push, or if he did, he did not hear. As Unks goes to push in from red door, Waffle waiting for the swing. Bomb is going to go down. 3v3.
I'm going to say they tried this last time 3v2, so they're in a better position. I'm not sure about the 2-stack on site. Okay.
Panic is down though. Oh, Cul-de-sac taking a fair bit of damage, but gets into cover very quickly.
Yeah, a ton on this MCX is going to find an angle on the right-hand side. It's going to be Repent and Monks that pick up the kills. Tone finds the third final kill onto Cul-de-sac at the end of it, but it's just all-round good team pressure from all three members of the Zenith squad that put a hail of gunfire down on those remaining alive from evasion on site. Zenith win the round. 8-5, Zenith put themselves in a position where they have 3 match points.
Zenith definitely very strong on the aggression here. And like I said earlier, the scoreboard is very spread out amongst the entire team. They're all playing cohesively and trading each other accordingly, as we've seen so far. Maybe they just needed a second to warm up. A little aim labs beforehand, so they're getting crispy now.
Yeah, going to get a couple of weekends or Sundays off to enjoy Mother's Day and so on. And then they're going to have to come back and do it all over again. We're going to be able to sit here and watch all of it, thanks to the great work here at the pit. Vanguard's background support staff doing an amazing job. Obviously, the Goblin himself, always cooking. And always cooking up something awesome for you folks at home to be able to enjoy as entertainment floods on in. Smoke off the top. Not going to make its way in onto site. Not sure that one landed where intended, but both teams going to have to play as such. Cul-de-sac is playing a game of catch right now as that one rolls right on into the pocket. Through the roof. Lovely. 2, 3. Hold up. Bodies are dropping left and right. We're down to a 3v3.
They do have back alley control, though. Oh, there we go. Panic finding Monks. Down to a 2v3. Bomb is going to get planted. A little bit of a late rotate here from Garrick. But Repent, nonetheless, calling out the sins of the enemy.
Oh, Repent leaves Garrick to deal with this front door challenge on his own. Confident he's going to be able to win out. Repent wins his one. Garrick doesn't win his. Zombie has more bullets in the magazine than Repent does. Repent fully out, needs to dive for a body for another weapon. And Zombie also opts to do the same thing, probably at a time where he might have had the advantage. Full reload, but it is a spear. On this Enforcer class now, Zombie theoretically has the most favored kit in the game at this moment in time. Repent in. Oh. Zombie nails him to the ground.
8-6. Evasion not ready to give up just yet.
You see No Technique, another legend, Mr. Famous in the chat there, also commenting on the beautiful MRS scope that apparently he's feeling like he's watching EU HPL with that being on screen. I didn't realize it was an EU favored scope. I just know the thing's hideous.
It would make sense that it was an EU favored scope, though. Anyway.
All right, buddy. Smoke made it to sight this time. Smoke's in. There's a little bit of execution this time around. Oh, no.
In the walker position, but does he give himself away? I don't know if Cryo sussed it out yet.
Oh, we both know this spot very well. Does Cryo? I like to think Cryo reads this, you know. My money's on him reading this. He's normally good at his doors and corners. The question is, do they want to challenge that? Or do they want to try and take on the 2v2 to back alley? Because Zen, this back alley squad, has been very good in this one. Exotics does go down first. Zombie picks him up. Here comes the boom.
Uh-oh. Cryo's about to run into the site, and he does get picked off by that walker position. Repent. Taking Cryo down. Zombie, though, working his way through parkour, trying to create a little distress in between the teams here. Player tucked close on site. Does he get cleared out, though? Runs in. Oh, the bait and switch. Information given. Now we know where they're at. Monks, though, going to find cul-de-sac on the back end. That's going to be the bomb dropped. But Zombie there to trade him out. Spray comes out from Monks, but not going to get any kills here. Panic getting taken down by Tone, and Waffle taking out Monks. Is down to a 1v2, and Zombie going to get ripped apart by Tone, and it's down to a 1v1. The time, though, 20 seconds on the clock. Device has been picked up, and it looks like they're going to go for the plant here. Quickly, Tone makes his way into connector. Goes for the spray around the corner. Does not find Waffle yet, and Waffle goes to make the secure play of backing out close to the site. The pop-up comes in. The spray over the top. Not quite enough.
Angle favors Waffle. Right hand versus left hand. This is really tough. Tone in a bit of a spot where they know they have to force their right hand side. It's going to be a left hand challenge, regardless of whether Tone likes it or not, because Evasion have the device planted. Favor falls in the hands of that Waffle as the pressure is on Tone to just duck, dip, and stick. Go on, Tone. Step up. Chase. Waffle forced into the building. Tone has brought the advantage back into their favor. Right hand versus left hand. Tone dip, ducks, and dives. The reload comes in from Waffle. 7, 6, and the job is done. It doesn't matter. Tone knows it. Tone just going to stick the bomb and accept the fate.
8-7.
Well played.
I guess he ran out of ammo there.
You love to see it, honestly. That's a good bit of cat and mouse.
Very strong positional awareness from Waffle there to make the space between each shot fired. Very good. Love to see that. I feel like those are a lot of early nades being thrown that could be held for a more tactile use.
I guess it's both ways, right? You get to the point where you say, well, could we have held it longer? Okay, yes, I did. And we got, like, value from it. But also, could we have just been quicker on execution? That's a little bit loose from Cryo at the top of mid there. Exotics in that con position, going to find a free knockover.
Looky here. Who's on the truck? It's Mr. Tone. Waiting patiently to find him. Repent gonna pick off Zombie, and it's down to a 2v5. Looking like Zen's here to try and close out this match. Bomb looking to make its way onto B. And now the full rotate has been called for the come in, and there it is. Garrett gonna get the final kill. Zen 9-7. What a strong performance from both teams there. Definitely a lot of back and forth. Was a very good match.
Honestly, well played from both teams. Good positioning on mostly defensive side plays from both squads. Showed better strength than attacking. I think we did mention again, utility was more accurate this time. I think a lot of util going into intended places, but as you said, maybe not getting as much from the util usage as what we might see some other teams do. So a good, pretty well spread scoreboard. Actually shows out for the Zenith squad. 18 kills for Tone, 18 for Repent. We saw good moments from Garrick, Monks, and Exotics alike, but at the end of the day, the 20 and 13 scoreline out of Panic and a huge effort was not enough to help them get it over the line on the score for the match. 9-7, Zenith take home their first win in the best of one as well. So there we have it, Austin. The first two games of the day all fully wrapped up for the folks at home. More action still to come, though, as we have a beautiful piece of production popped up on screen, thanks to the hard work for the guys and the staff in the background here. Whilst we roll through the beautiful scenes of Bowl, there's going to be about 15 minutes for you folks at home to be able to sort yourselves out, all right? Go grab some snacks, drinks, whatever you need to make sure that the suit fits, and then you will be back for the pit. Coming back to you in 15 minutes' time, all right? Don't go too far. More action coming very soon. Well then, if it wasn't good for part 1, we've brought you back for part 2. That's right. Part 2 Electric Boogaloo The Pit. Back for your action, ladies and gentlemen. The next match featured on your screen. No longer a best of 1, a best of 3. Thanks to their victories earlier on today, Zenith and Generation will now take to the stage across 3 maps to decide which one of the 2 teams is our victor for the first day of this pit test run. As you can see, the first match we're going to jump on into next is going to be Skybridge, thanks to, again, some beautiful work at the hands of the production in the background. First match, we'll see Zenith attacking, Generation defending. The second match will take us to Bay 5, where Generation will be on the attack, Zenith on the defense. And the third match, should we need a decider, we'll see us going where the cereal goes, into the vault, where, again, Generation will start on the attack and Zenith on the defense. So, Zenith, if they're looking to try and make their mark, the stamp of authority stick, Austin, they're going to be looking to try and do it in this first game via their attacking side, as they're going to start on the attacking side. And Skybridge, I think, definitely a map that tests teams' ability to attack both halves of the map well. If you have a good B site hit, as well as a good A site hit on Skybridge, I feel like it puts you in a different bracket of preparedness or skill, shall we say, on Skybridge than it does other teams, because that B site can be a lot harder and a lot more technical to approach. I think that if you have a team that does that well, you're at a little bit of an advantage. But we're going to get to see that from both of these 2 teams here. Did you go and grab any particular snacks or drinks during the break, Austin? I know myself can't beat a good old Coca-Cola classic. So nice frosty cold Coca-Cola sat next to me, ready for the next 3 games of action, because we're going to have to lock in for this one. I think seatbelts may be required, as whiplash wickedness might be incoming.
You know, I'm a little partial more towards the water. I usually only get 1 daily dose of caffeine in the morning, and that's it. And then I'm a strictly water guy the rest of the way through, mostly because I have a tendency to not be nice to caffeine, as it tends to not be nice to me. But yeah, Skybridge definitely going to be one of those maps where attacking both sides is critical. Knowledge for both sides. B, definitely one of the harder sites to take. A, usually being the traditional default for every team for Skybridge. Seeing as it's super easy, you set up the smokes, and there's a couple of nade spots that you always nade, and then you just go into the site. Traditionally, of the past Skybridges that I've seen, it's been more so about the fact that the team might let the enemy take the site, and then they just play retake from there, which is easier on the CT side because they can just hold their nades and then nade common angles where somebody would be sitting off of a retake scenario. Getting in there after they let the smokes fade, and then they use their smokes to retake. It's pretty standard stuff, I feel like, for the A site on Skybridge. The B site, however, a little bit more difficult, because definitely once the attacking side takes the site, reclaiming it tends to be a lot as difficult as it is to take it on the attacking side. So it's definitely it's strong, because on B, you could have so many places to sit. You can sit on the ramp. You can sit close on site. You can jump on top of the site box. You can sit on the train. You could sit behind useless, inside of red. Lots of places, right? Tons of angles to have to clear. And with A, it's just 2 lanes. You're straight up dueling between 2 spaces most of the time, and those smokes cut off both of those lanes. So easy access to get into the site, which is why I think A is more of a retake site generally. Against teams that are very knowledgeable about their maps.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with this one. Obviously, the B site lends itself better to being defended before the bomb goes down. The range, the long length of the lanes, and the positions, like you mentioned, that you can tuck up behind, play a little bit sneaky on, give you a much better setup for a defending team to be able to deny that bomb access to the site, whereas on the A site, as you mentioned, the retake angle is definitely the more favored through teams. I don't know whether I would consider that the most effective meta-wise, but the way that Skybridge plays and the way that the majority of the teams, both across the EU and the NA scene, play this, is the favor is to hold back from the defending side, let them get the bomb down and play the post-plant scenario, as you find teams tend to leave a member on site after planting, and that normally tends to be the focus of the target of the defending team on retake, is getting that site anchor, that planted the bomb removed from site. The smarter way to approach it, I feel, is where that bomb planter actually gets back off site near immediately. And either you play a 4-man defense where you send somebody on a long flank to try and work into the back lines whilst delaying that push onto site, or you just stack all 5 of your members on good cross angles and you play very safe into the retake. You maybe back off when the util comes out. You avoid a couple of those lethals that might be holding those common positions, and then you push back in after the util's gone. There is obviously the caution that if a team plays it well, the util comes out and they push onto site at the same time. So if you do back off, then they just take the space for free, and you then have to retake the retake position, which that's when it does get really, really technical on the chess fight. And that's when you start to see teams sending maybe 1-2 members towards that B site, not for attacking the site for the bomb, but just to try and lurk along lane 1, maybe get a pick onto red and wrap around from behind to cause action on the flank. We're going to get to dive into this one very soon. Both teams will be starting up their engines, loosening up the gearbox, pouring a bit of oil in just to make sure everything is nice and smooth. Game POV coming to you guys in your couches, chairs, and gaming seats very shortly. In the meanwhile, I do believe we've been having polls going on throughout the tournament, and when we get into the full pit setup after today's test run, then you'll be able to hedge your bets, folks. We know there's a lot of you in the chat that like to gamble your channel points away as to who you think is going to win. And I'm going to be honest with you, we love to see your voices heard in the chat. We love to see where the current thoughts are of the public. Who do you think is going to win? For now, spam yourself the 3 letters of the team you think is going to take this one home. It's only map 1 of Skybridge, but to go 1-0 up in the series, ZEN, Zenith, if you think that Zenith have got this one in the bag, or GEN, Generation, if you think Gen's taking map number 1.
And here we go, getting right into it. The action is starting up. Big challenge here for Zen to go up against Gen, but both teams seem to have put out an equal amount of force on their Bay 5 matches, respectively. Zen being on the attack here, starting us off. Looking for that early aggression into A, as it always is the default. They're going to be prodding for information, trying to figure out what the strengths of Generations are on this defending side. Looks like they've opted.
Oh, we were going to pause for some action. We waited a very long time for somebody to fall over. Eventually, one does go down. Frost finds Tone. Monks finds Frost. Roach responds. Monks goes down. 1 for 1 with an extra on the backside. Roach and Exotics again. 1 for 1. Peach Repent passes over to the next round as 2v2. I say 2v2, 2v1.5. Poor Exotics is feeling the worse for wear side of that little battle.
Center slowly creeping up KFC lane. Flash comes in, probably full blinds Exotic there. Looked like it landed right in front of him. Slowly clearing out the angles. Doing a very good job. Is Exotics ready for this? There is that half wall in between them. The jump across does give away his sound and information. The quick pick from behind center takes down Exotic and is down to a 2v1 as the smoke comes out to cut off the rotation outside.
Wow, double smoke VIP. They know he has to come through the single position now. There's no way else that he's going to be able to rotate into this. Through sandwich would have been the great play, but he has to take time to bring the crosshair up, and that gives Sinner more than enough room to rinse and repeat the first kill through the blue tarp. 2 down. The first round in the hands of Generation.
Definitely a strong start. It did look like, as far as I could tell, Generations is playing a 2-person only A site with a 2-player flank, possibly 3. Little cat action there on the cam work. I know, Correct, you're a very big fan of the cats.
I've been having 4 cats. You're kind of hard not to be a fan of cats, eh?
Big flash coming out. Does not quite find the mark. Does go just behind the player. Exotics.
PvP is already up, really. What? Germ manages somehow to save PvP's life. PvP is tucked in the front of VIP. We're going to come back to that in a second as Monks is having a duel of his life towards the B side. We've got back and forth action on both sides of the map as Repent finds Sinner. PvP into Garek. Germ takes out Repent. PvP and Monks, a little bit of a duel back and forth. Neither finds the mark. 4v2 though. Generation again in a really good position numbers-wise.
Bomb is down. PvP here is pushed up into the VIP position. Monks is going to find Frost on the flank there. 3v2. Half HP on PvP here. Bomb's still down though, so they know that if someone goes to pick it up, they can go for the swing here. Tone going for the swing, but Germ's just a little bit quicker as he turns around, finds him on the back end. Monks, though, MRS in hand, ready to swing in to VIP, looking for the players in the positions they shouldn't be. However, that bomb is going to be a really hard retake here. Smoke going out for VIP.
Yeah, I mean, Monks at this point in time can't really play bomb. He has to think about maybe a 1 versus 3. This is just a team fight game at this point in time now. How many kills can he pick up? Get down to a 1v1, then the bomb might be playable, but with 25 seconds left on the clock, you have to think this one is pretty much done for.
All these deep angles being held here. PvP are going to find the final kill on Monks. Taking Gen 2-0. A little bit of broken legs to end off that round.
Germ with a really good start so far. 3 in the round. No deaths just yet.
It seems as a very common thing now to see multiple assault and 2 scout.
Yeah, I saw a G36 earlier on, which has been brought back to the table by Sinner here, and I don't like the MRS. I equally don't like the G36, but it's working. Garrick's going to pick up one inside of VIP. We see Util going off across site. That's not really landing really too close to anyone other than the open space on bench. The duel through the smoke from 2 of either side as both Generation and Zenith looking to try and find that slightly fortunate pick towards the backside of E-Box.
The G36 with an MRS, though. How you feel about that? Little spray through the smoke. Post plant positions have been taken. Frost takes down Monks as Garrick trades out for a center. Germ, though, going to find Garrick. And a quick swing from Germ finds 2. 3v2, though. Tone lurking in the smoke. Roach.
Exotics got robbed, bro. Exotics got robbed so hard. He's down as well from the kill on the backside of it. A little bit of an unfortunate situation turns into a very long series of unfortunate events. Man, Exotics swung twice for good shots onto people, but whether you say it's unfortunate or a misplay, just taking the finger off the trigger a couple of times, maybe 1 or 2 bullets too soon, and Exotics feels himself a little bit robbed. Like I said, the 2 kills there that Exotics could have had that just seemed to slip away out of his grasp. Very unfortunate.
Very strong performance from Germ on these first 3 rounds here. 5 kills in 3 rounds.
And 4 pieces of util in his pockets. Generation trusting Germ to be the one with the wonders of the hands. Okay. Grenade up and over from Sandwich to Rat. Covers front of VIP. Garrick's up a lot more aggressively in VIP right now, but Roach and Sinner, oh my word, that's a 3-man aggressive flank. Cameraman doing some insane work. It's a 4-man aggressive flank. There's 1 anchor towards jungle, banana area, and the rest of the teams in the back line. They know they're coming, but it's not going to matter because there's so many people here. PvPer plays Exotic. PvPer plays Repent. The backside of the sandwich cover's falling apart as the 1 member left on the other side of the map does get found out. Now Garek and Monk start to put something together. 2 on site, but PvPer is just making a meal out of everyone. Last down as Sinner's got the cover, but it's a 1-for-1 trade, and the entirety of the Zenith squad just got wrapped on.
4 people on flank. Absolutely insane play coming out here. No one being put up on that flank watch there as they all dedicated their time into the A site. Unfortunately, being the downfall of that round there. 4-0 so far. Jin taking a lead. Germ finally also taking the L on 1 round. 5-1 though. Still a respectable scoreline in 4 rounds.
Yeah, I think Zenith missed the email that was sent from the production to them to say that the flank was coming in because the production caught it just as quick as we did. So exceptional work on the cameras there as we fly into the action as it comes in from the backside, right when it's about to hit. Now, here we go. On board with the flood from Zenith out of spawn. We glide. As they ride. Another attempt onto the A site.
It's great. Jen's not doing the same thing twice, it seems, ever. Now they're posted up and waiting, playing for information on the B site, and 3 players on A. PB Pierce lurking outside of VIP. He's going to come out. Chunks a little HP off center. Going to walk through that smoke. He does.
Oh, caught on the backside as well. Sinner again.
Oh, that nade was ever so close. Chunking Repent down to half HP. Bomb does get planted. 45 seconds on the clock. And post-plant positions have been taken. Smokes are up and in favor. Another smoke comes out to block off AFC lane. They're going for the wide swing.
I'm going to say they have the numbers to push in for this, but Garrick's actually going to do some great work. As long as he keeps his life in VIP, that's a good 2-man push out of Generation to nail him down. Great shots from Roach as his reaction time's just that little bit later of the man. Holding the sandwich gap, it's Monks here to save the day. He finds one. Gives himself the pressure. 12 on the clock. He's going to be short running away. Roach is going to be able to catch up with him on the timing if he doesn't get round sandwich. Turns and peeks, empties the mag, 6 on the clock. It's not going to be enough time to defuse the bomb, though, and Monks does enough.
Just enough to get that one crucial round to try and start pulling themselves back up from this deficit here. 4-1. Zen finally getting their mark on the board. But not for a lack of trying. Garrick and Monks both been putting in a lot of time and work here to try and secure these rounds. 5 and 7 kills each, respectively. Germ this time not fully pulled up on the util. Little spray down through the box. PvPer takes a little bit of damage. Not quite enough to take him out of the round, though. Frost, though, is going to find Monks.
Yeah, TTK on Monks there looked rapid. He saw 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's down.
Frost on the flank, though, moving quickly into heaven. As Tone is watching him from behind. Unfortunate nade there. Bounces off the roof and does not find his mark. Tone is going to find Frost on the flank, though. It's down to a 4v2 as Exotics posted up into the box, but he didn't die, so they don't think he's there anymore. They think he's pulled off. Still looking for that position. They definitely find him.
Sinner wants bullets. There we go. Good choice.
Down to a 1v2. Playing around in this smoke here. He has to at least attempt.
This is so tough to swing into. He's just got 2 people either side of him. He's going to pincer him down. Okay, fair enough. Zenith hold the ground. What was a 4-0 starts 4-2, Austin, but it's not as free as it's been getting that 4-0 start. I have to say that the Generation 4 rounds they put on the board were much more convincing than what we've seen out of the 2 from Zenith. But I guess Zenith will be happy with a scrappy game if it gets them the result. Doesn't have to be clean if the points are on the board, right?
Right, and at the end of the day, it does come down to team participation, and if we can continue to get these rounds on Zen's side here, will bring us into a tie game 4-4, but Caster Curse incoming as Jin decide to lock it all the way in. Quick push forward from center, though. Going to rotate back to the side as 2 players are sat inside of VIP. One's going to go down to center. PvP swings around the outside, finding one. Now it's down quickly as there goes PvP around the swing into VIP, finding another, looking for that flank player. Does not connect fully to Monks, though, and it is down to a 2v4. With only a minute, 15 seconds still left on the clocks, the pick from Germ finds Monks down to a 1v4, and the timer looking like it won't even matter at this point, though. Repent looking to find the remaining kills, but will not in this scenario. 5-2, Jin locking it all the way in.
Kind of walking away with it a little bit now. The pace of the game just seems to be running away from Zenith. You can see what they're putting together at the beginning of the rounds. You can see the idea that's being put into play, but it's just not quite being able to be executed upon. Garrick again, good for 2 kills early on in the round, but it just all falls apart after that. We've seen Zenith try and put players in the position that we saw doing them successful on Bay 5 here on Skybridge, but the rotations and the time it takes to do so, and the way you have to go about it, makes it take a lot longer here on Skybridge, so not having the same level of success of weaving the way into the back lines. Garrick again starts off with a great big one. Germ finishes him off and trades back 1 apiece. Lane 1 battle as Roach and Frost together find Monks. Together the 2 versus 1 plays through. The jumping jack out of Sandwich gets slammed down into the ground. Repent not having any of that nonsense. PvP being punished a little bit for his dues.
Frost on the flank. Might just run straight into the crosshairs of Repent. Does, but doesn't know there's a second, but Repent doesn't care. That's all it's going to take. And now it's down to a 1v3 and the site is open. Bomb plant might come in here. Smoke is going to clear. The nade comes out, does do a little bit of chip damage. It's the swing, does clear the bomb, but that's not going to be quite enough. 5-3, Zen picking up the last round on the half, round 8, as we go into halftime.
2-round advantage from Generations, very good to start off with. German 9-4. Definitely standout player so far in this match. Second half, though. We'll see if second win comes through and we see a little bit of a turnaround.
Definitely harder on the attacking side to take control of these sites, but we'll see if Jin has what it takes to claim this first map here as we move into this half. Like you said, they do have a 2-round lead, but it can all be swiftly closed if players are positioned carefully and consciously. The bomb is making its way over towards the B side, and unfortunately they only have the 1 player anchoring B currently.
Left to right, cross, Tone finds Sinner.
Frost. Just like that, the B side is open, and now it is free for the bomb to be planted.
We said this about the B site on the way into the game, didn't we? We said you've got to have that B site on lock if you want to be able to push a team. Zenith stuck to the A site for the majority of their attack, if not all of. Roach and Frost pick up a kill apiece as this B site plant is down, locked in, 40 seconds left on the clock, and only 2 players left to contest with the 4 that planted.
Ooh, quick double little piece there between Roach and Frost. Securing round number 9, 6-3. Jin, they want this. They have prepared, and they are showing that they know exactly how to play the T side on this map. Attacker's side, I guess I should say.
I think T side still sticks. Same concept, right? Same principle.
Right. I mean, one has a bomb. One tries to defuse a bomb.
I think people still see T and CT as attacking and defending side nowadays rather than what they actually stand for as the terrorist and counter-terrorist, but that's the theme for where it originates from.
Oh no!
Wow, okay. PvP does clean up after his initial slightly wayward challenge. Oh, check the corners though. Sir, that is an exotic position that's only going to be good for 1. Roach able to roll the exotics. Monks in for 1 of his own. Roach down. Tone through the smoke, and Frost looking for a little bit of a back and forth duel. Nobody's seeing the model to be able to land the shots on though. Again, Monks does find magic through the smoke. Frost barely hanging on with his life, takes out Tone.
Down to a 2v2, but Frost has no HP. Boosted on the box. Monks looking for more kills here to try and secure this round. Spotted through the smoke just ever so slightly as the arm creeps through. Gets the shot off, down to a 1v2, but if anybody can do it, Monks can pull this one out here. Flash comes out, going for the wide swing, but Germ tucked tight onto the sight box, ready to secure that round for Generations. 7-3 on round 10.
Very strong out of Generations in Mat 1 for the best of 3. Environment can change a lot of things. We would say that both teams have had a very good game on Bay 5 earlier. Of course, they had to get here. They would have had to win their game to make it to the match to the best of 3. So Bay 5 being our next map, but we don't really necessarily have good information as to which of these 2 teams is better than the other against each other on it, but we know that both of them put in a good performance in their first to make it here. So A5 set to be explosive. Generation definitely showing they have the better side of the battle when it comes to Skybridge. Ooh, okay. It's another B-side hit, but we're playing a little bit more slower and slyly this time. Now, I don't know about you, Austin, but I'm a fan of Garek right now because this position smells a trap. For whatever reason, Garrick seems to be very aware that this is a possibility.
I'm surprised they haven't called for any rotations just yet. I feel like with the lack of presence on the A site so far, it would have been a good call to make that play. But PvPer takes down Monks on the long angle there, and now Garrick has rotated in to try to find the kill. He finds 2, 3, 4. Oh my God, Garrick! No! He could have had the ace there, but 20 bullets is all you're allowed on that wonderful gun that is the Val. And it's down. A 1v3 as Frost has to get Frosty and find the ice on the angle. Does find one, sees the second in the background there, goes for the shots, but does not quite complete the conversion.
You've got to be joking. 1 mag, 4 melts. Absolute disgusting gameplay.
Impressive shots for 900 RPM and very little bullets. Free fire through the box. Does get found, though, very quickly by Tone as the crossfire has been set up. And that is going to be a round in the way of Zen. 7-4. What an absolute amazing shots coming out of Garrick there to turn the tides of that match almost instantly.
Yeah, you don't see that kind of burial every day of the week. That's the kind of action you're only going to find here at the pit. My word.
I half hoped that he had had time to reload. I wanted to see the ace.
Yep.
I wanted to see it. What honestly, a clean spray.
Garrick looking like the gravekeeper at this point in time, the gatekeeper of the graveyard. He shall not pass. Well, that's a bit of inspiration. If Zenith needed a momentum shaker to try and put a little bit of pep back in the step, that's one there to motivate you. As much as the motivation is great, the way that Skybridge plays, this A-site position is so hard. Zenith, though, oh, they're feeling the tempo, Austin. The thing that's got to be recognized, though, is Generation have done a very good job of reading. PvP gets distracted by the noise down below. There are kills in. He does find a 1-for-1 and gets his man before Garrick picks up the trade. Roach, now aware of the flank coming in. Garrick's good for a second before Roach can get involved. He does shut him down, but they've lost the other 2 members. Oh, my word. Wait, Germ knows. Germ knows.
Tone finding Frost through the smoke there. Little jump gives him away, and Germ is going to close out the final round here. 8-4. We're going to be going into the last round. If Generations can take it, that will be the first map in their favor.
It's looking good. It's looking good for Generations so far. They're giving themselves a 4-round buffer. They're giving themselves a whole half to do it in. Oh. What is the call on the play for Generation? They've done really well at not overcommitting to something before the opposition has made a mistake. They find the player that's getting isolated for a good kill, or getting somebody into a position where they're able to spring the trap and knock down not 1, but 2, but maybe even 3 people in quick succession. Here comes the boom towards the B site. 2 members here close. 2 coming quickly. A good first pickup from Garrick on contact is going to be reducing the members, pushing by 1. 1 more down as Roach takes out Garrick.
A little bit of nade action coming in. Does find 2. Monks is going to be good for 2, but that is going to be all that's going to wrap him in. 1-2 here. Roach.
Ooh. Now, with a 4-round buffer, you got to think this is relatively chill. Pressure not quite on as much as it would be if we were at like an 8-6, 8-7 scoreline. So, Roach probably going to feel quite comfortable to be able to try and play this out and push this for a clutch. He's got time. 55 on the clock. There's a lot of distance between both of these members here. Tone's going to keep his cover. Top of the train challenges. The big swing from Roach to put pressure down is good. Reload on the left side. Out on the right. Tone steps out with good wide angle for pressure. Isolation move is here. Roach takes the 1. Pinned from behind on sight. He's aware, but he's out of bullets. This is really tough. 1 mag left.
30 seconds, so still tons of time to work with, but Tone not quite ready to give it up just yet. Zen picking up another round, 8-5. Eric being able to stop a couple of those players early on into the B push really slows down the information that they can gather there, definitely making it a lot tougher on Jin to execute the site properly.
Straight out the gate, both teams setting up for a line of scrimmage. It seems like Generation have abandoned the B sites, back to good old tried and tested A. The util traded and cross. Smoke towards.
Ooh, is that a good nade?
That nade per. What?
Just ever so slightly bounces just behind. Bomb is going to get planted though. No one to contest that. There is a player working their way slowly on the flank, but they are hyper aware of this and making their way into the position to counter it.
1-for-1 trade so far though. Repent hurt. Garrick has been the one tasked with the flank. Germ finds Exotics. Roach for Tone. Repent takes out Germ. That's a big pickup from Repent. Numbers in the favor of Generation. Repent's got to go nuts here. He's no way. He's no space. And it's all down to Garrick on a 1v3. We've seen him do 1v4s, but we haven't seen him have that much favor for him like we did in the previous one. This time it's Generation closing it out. A 9-5 scoreline here on Skybridge. In the first, the best of three puts them 1-0 up in the series.
Talk about an insane spray down though. That spray control and movement coming out of Garrick there for that one round that really truly attempted to pull them back into the game there, because they started getting some of that heat, some of that passion behind them as they moved into sight, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough in that given moment to really hurdle them over the level that Jin was trying to play at on Skybridge here.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to go down in style. Zenith absolutely making sure that the first game was not as easy as it had seen after the first 4 rounds. Girek, honestly, on his own, in one situation, but the rest of the squad stepping up in different moments to help out too. 12 out of 10, honestly. 12 out of 10. Zenith put in a great performance. Generation, an even better one, I'll give that much. Germ looks like they're cooking to an exceptional level as well at this moment in time. Some huge work put in by Germ to help Generation get it over the line. Match number 2 coming up soon. We're going to be seeing them return to Bay 5, like we said, for the second. This time around, it's the opposite when it comes to attacking and defending. You're going to see Generation starting off on the attack and Zenith on the defense as we go on into Bay 5. So, and again, massive shout out and thank you to production. Some really, really good work been put in since the last pit tournament. As you can see, your screens, your intermissions, everything else that goes into the production has been upgraded yet again, thanks to some nuts work from Luke Goblin, Schmitty, Big Sky, and the rest of the squad that work on in the background. There's many names, and I'm sure I've missed many of them off of the line. We will get to shout out and say an awesome thank you to all of them towards the end of the broadcast. But now we just want to tip our hats to them and pay homage to the great work that's going on. I just like the blood on the writing, honestly.
It is pretty good. It's a very, very good graphics they got going on here. Definitely, this matchup looks to be a fairly good one. They both play very well on Bay 5. They did struggle against their opponents ever so slightly. Both matches for both teams on Bay 5 were very close in terms of who could win in that particular match. I think both score lines ended up being the same, right? 9-7 on both of them. So it was hard fought for both teams, and we'll see if they also put in that same amount of work here on Bay 5. Maybe Generations has put in as much as Zenith or more. We'll see in the match coming up here. What do you think? Play-wise, I mean, Zenith seemed to have had better control of their utility in the previous matchup than Generations did on their first match of the day. But will that make or break the map?
I think that the way the first map played out, it showed the difference between the fact that Generation have been around for a little while and that Zenith with this new roster are definitely fresher to the scene than the other team are. There's obviously that not skill gap, but experience gap, I want to say, where we saw Generation push to that B site with comfort because they've had the amount of time to work out the kinks of the A site and then also put some time into grafting into B. Zenith, I think, lent way more heavier into the A site on their attacking side. But we did see some creative flanks from both teams, 4-man flanks, 2-man flanks, different timings on the flanks too. So there's a lot of creativity coming from both sides. For me, I wouldn't be surprised to see Generation take this one as well with maybe a 9-5, 9-6. I think Zenith have the potential to upset them here and steal a map off of them. But I think it is going to come down to what you've mentioned. I think they need to pull out some overperformed util execution, I think, to help them get ahead of a couple of rounds. And I think they probably can take the map off of Generation here and push them to 3. But if I was being honest, I think that myself and most of the people in the chat that maybe don't have any bias to either of the two teams would vote on the logic. I think Generation have probably put themselves in the position to take this one home 2-0. I think starting on the attack, they have every option in front of them, right, Austin? The ball's in their court on the attacking side on Bay 5, a lot less difficult, shall we say, to deal with post-plant than the previous in Skybridge. So I feel like Generation are probably going to be in a good place after the first half.
Yeah, I think that could possibly be the outcome. I do think that Generation's slight lack of coordinated utility that Zenith has, that was a little bit more proper in their first match that I saw them play. I think that might bite them a little bit, but I think overall shooter-wise, Generation definitely has a little bit more of a snappier setup of players that are more along the lines of like Pug members. They're like really good at their fights most of the time, not so much at great coordination, but on Skybridge, they did show some very phenomenal coordination. So who knows? Maybe they just weren't even like awake yet when they started their first match of the day. So, and they could be just showing up and showing us exactly how good this generation they are.
I actually think that Germ definitely warmed up in the second game here. It felt like the whole of the team for Generation in the first game was at a pretty good level of consistency across the board, but it really did feel like, whether it's because Germ's particularly good on Skybridge or, like you say, maybe it's a bit of the wake-up factor, but it felt like that game Germ was cooking just a little bit more than a couple of the other players inside from both teams, actually, just really, really on it. And one of the points you pointed out is the hyper-awareness for the flank. There was a couple of different rounds where both teams played with going around the outside or trying to get into the back line. And we saw Generation, not just from Germ, but from other members too, but particularly on Germ's part, kind of respecting that flank a lot more than maybe was necessary. And that over-respecting of the flank actually covered them off for 2 or 3 rounds where they could have been in a pretty tough position had the flank have come through very successfully. So I like to see it. I think the Generation, they've been working on this team for a while. They've been trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. We saw Sinner doing some exceptional work the first time Generation were here on Bay 5. I think that mid-position and the audio read that we spoke about earlier on today is going to be a heavy playing part into this game. So I'm really curious to see how Zenith deal with that sort of top mid hold from Generation when they do end up swapping sides for the second half. But for the first time, it's going to be how well can Zenith deal with Generation's aggressive attack into that A site? Because we did see them push that alley position very aggressively a couple of times over the first time.
Oh, very quickly. They were up and in before you could even blink. The round had started and 10 seconds had gone by and they're already in back alley. Like, they were very quick and aggressive to take the positions that they needed to take in order to secure each site. And I think that might be one of their strongest suits here on this map so far.
We're going to get to see very shortly which one of the two teams is going to be able to take it home. This one, obviously, match 2 in the best of 3. Generation, after a good first game on Skybridge, find themselves 1-0 up. Our final of the day. This is only the final match of day 1. Like we said, there's a multitude of weekends to follow in the future. As we mentioned before, we will shout out a little reminder. The next date that you'll want to pen into your calendars is going to be the 26th. We're going to take a couple of weekends off, as obviously Mother's Day comes around. And when that does, we have families to tend to, people that deserve the love and care for all of the hard work they put into their lives to allow us to do what we need to do. And of course, a very thick-soled, rubber-heeled boot thrown at us if we're not attending to our duties as a man of the house. So we're going to avoid Mother's Day. And there's a mini cup in between as well. Those of you enjoying Walker's mini cup, that will be filling one of your weekends before we pop back in for the next pit tournament, which we'll be very excited for. And then we're back. We get weekend 2, 3, and 4 worth of pit tournament gaming. All to conclude down to a big final shebang. Which, I mean, it's an ever-building pinnacle, isn't it, Austin? We're always trying to improve over here.
Every stepping stone of the way carved ever so slowly and meticulously as we reach our way to the top, the pinnacle, out of the pit, sift all the gold and find those gems to come together to make one powerful tournament in the end. Definitely going to be something to behold once we get to the final realms of the pit. I'm actually looking forward to it a lot. It's going to be something to behold for sure.
You see a lot of yapping in the chat from multiple people that have taken the time to turn out to watch the broadcast today. Firstly, folks in the chat, thank you for taking time out of your awesome days to come down and join us. Wouldn't be any reason for us to be putting on the production and the gameplay if it wasn't for you guys sat in the chat watching. And like we said previously, all the feedback that is given is highly appreciated and will be taken on board as best possible so that we can improve your viewing experience in the future. Your voices get heard, all right? Positive thing about being a nice small-knit community is we get to see each and every single one of all your messages that cracks on in the side there. And as we get bigger, we're only going to pay more attention, all right? We're just going to fetch more heads to be able to look at your messages so we don't miss people. There's something that I'm sure all of you be looking forward to is more content from the competitive arena scene as a whole. But for that to happen, it needs to be embraced more. We need people to spread, the love for this kind of action. So if you've got a friend, you've got a housemate, you've got a colleague, or just a part-time drinking buddy that likes computer games that doesn't come and pay sometime to the competitive scene, maybe send them a link and be like, hey, you should check this out. It's pretty good. Spread the word. And without any further yapping, let's go. Austin, game number 2, Generation versus Zenith, as Zenith tried to level the score.
I don't know if it'll be any further yapping. It's about to be a lot more as they quickly push into the position near Beacon. Working their way in as Garrick quickly finds center and Tone finds Roach, and that's going to be down to a 4v2 as quickly the names fall apart here, and the B site has not been taken successfully. So now it is going to be a fight to find the remaining bodies and open up the site for Jen.
Eyes on. And by eyes on, I mean ears on. As the audio we both heard, I'm sure you did in the casting booth, of the drop off on the backside of the cover across top mid. That slight bit of the concrete balustrade that Pork's at actually going to be doing dirty. One of the members in Con, he doesn't see him either. No, I'm actually a little bit shocked that the upper angle is being left alive. Not only that, but the trigger discipline is going to keep that position hidden. There's PvP taking out Exotics now. He's going to see him in the replay. Tone, I like the ambition. A shame about the execution.
Very good strong plant for Khan, and it looks like the crossfire comes in. PvPer and Germ by themselves take and contest the site, giving them that first round there.
Oh no, Austin. You smell a little bit of deja vu?
Looking a little much like what we had stated before. The strength of them being able to get into a site and execute very quickly is what brings this team together so far. And their positional awareness is very strong.
And a 3-0 unkilled Germ round 1, by the way. Same again.
What an interesting nade for the front of Khan here on parkour.
It's like an anti-aggressive push-out nade, and there is a member there. Garrick is holding that close angle, but the peek from Sinner, the boost that they've been working on. Nice hiccup from Generations, actually stealing a little bit of something out of the Zenith book that we saw. Oh, Exotics finds one germ, gets the response. Zenith are hanging on by the skin of the teeth there now, not anymore. PvPer finds one, Frost buries the nail, and then buries the hatchet. Oh dear, oh dear.
2-0 so far, and the team is coming alive as we speak. They are putting in every bit of effort that they can muster to close out this map as quickly as they can, and let's see if they can do it. Jin versus Zen. Very fast A push. Flashes and smokes come in. Nades set up.
Oh,
Germ
Jim,
gonna find one with a nade. Back alley completely taken already.
Oh,
all the way through.
Squad's in. 1. Crossfire's good. Repent's not been found yet. There's no way. 2, 3. Repent almost manages to pull off a miracle with 4 in his eyes. He drops short of the 4th. Monks is there for 1 onto Sinner. Frost last left alive on the site. My word. How many more players are going to be given the chance for a miracle? Garrick, we know he's good. Frost has got the better angle on the smoke dissipating, though. It's a 1v1. But where is Exotics? Oh, he's not moved a muscle, bruh. He's been here the whole time, and Frost has no idea.
Oh.
No way.
Did he hear a shuffle? Oh, gets spotted.
Seen him now. Oh!
The headshot! Right over the top as he dunks him down and takes this 3rd round. 4 kills for Frost. Clutching it out for Jin.
He's walking around screaming after that one. It's just like just sticking his tongue out, knowing exactly what he just got away with. But that was disgusting. That was a great shot to finish it off. But you put somebody in a position to get 3 people like that with a potential for the 4th, and you don't close it out. Oh, man. It takes an equally better performance. 4 required.
A little bit of rock, paper, scissors, and finger in the middle here as they're slowly... This is interesting. All slowly getting their way in towards the A site, but taking their time burning that clock down.
Now, this play has 2 levels, right? There's a good play like this, and there's a play like this where you're trying to do something, but you're not really executing on what you're trying to get going on here. So the quietness is all until we hear some form of a fake rotation, right? If somebody tries to fake out rotating too early, or starts searching for info, or somebody just leans out of an angle and gets clapped, then the boom will come in. But for the time being, Zenith are actually playing this very well. The way to beat this kind of a strategy is to not get nervous.
One gets called out as they go for the full cross. 2 players rushing straight up the back alley. In a very safe position, Tone has set himself in. Gives him a lot of space to work with, but Frost getting cleared out ever so quickly, and Tone getting picked down, and now Monks quickly running in, finding Roche. The bomb has been planted, 40 seconds on the clock. It's down to a 2v3, and it's all left to PvPer. He does have a nade? Or is that a smoke?
That's a lethal. That is a lethal. I mean, surely not, right? This is so hard. Right hand versus right hand. Garrick has got to know where he is. Yep. That's going to be all she wrote for that one. Zenith put one on the board.
I do believe it was the med of the cheese that gave him away in that back alley position there.
Interesting.
Although it, could have just been quick analytical information. There's nobody our main, there's nobody their main, there's nobody in rat, so only one place for him to left to be.
There was a little bit of an unfortunate push towards the back alley as well. Tone did really good by dropping far enough back to allow his site players to get involved in the cross to keep him alive. There was like a two-man push door, two-man push alley, and they all kind of kept their eyes on Tone, which allowed somebody to left-hand swing the side of the members in the back side, which was kind of what started tearing that all apart. Again, Tone, he's just playing really smart on the information and backing out for space. Repent picks up the first point of contact onto Roach. From the backside, though, the flank comes in. Sinner, Repent, Tone, Sinner, and Tone all in the stack. My word, the kill feed bleeds, and it's one member left alive from Generation.
Oh, the jiggle peek for information, but the quick re-peek does claim ahead as Zen pick up a second round here at round 5, 3-2. Jin maybe have put too many eggs in one basket here on this A play, but they keep going for it, and we're going to see if they can finally execute a 4th round success here for them. Pent going to find one on the side as he's creeping, but it gets taken down immediately by Frost. PvP here looking for this flat player. Finds him, but does not. Does collect off the last bullet there. 4v3.
Zenith, just a little bit of disconnects going on at the moment. There's a lot of detachment from players. We've got one in the back line. Tone's going to find Germ lacking, but I think that's about all she wrote for the positives for Zenith at the moment. Now that the members start to get closer, they are going to group up a bit to be able to play off of each other. Exotics and Tone have good angles together on this door frame, but 30 seconds on the clock. Time is starting to cut. Garrick makes the move. First down. Roach trades out. Roach caught in the reload's going to go down to Tone. 2v1 on site as PvP needs to make magic. One. Tone manages to trade out. It's going to be Generation picking up. Never mind. I'm cooked. There's more than enough time. It's not going to be Generation picking it up. Tone's more than happy for the timer. Light work, I guess.
3 kills on Tone there to swath out that round for Zen. 3-3. Tied up. And Zen continue to push forward on this defensive side. Okay, we've got a split here. But another A setup just as well.
This is about the timing that they would normally send Sinner up mid to go for a pinch. Sinner's calling info. 2 members of Zenith have reacted to Sinner, 1 playing deep. Site member gets exposed. Repent taken out. Now the 2 members from Zenith that rotated to deal with Frost and company are brought back. Gives Sinner the space to move up. This is dangerous. This is Sinner territory in a nutshell, is this right here. Bombs in on site. They've already done great well on the front side, but Sinner doesn't manage to land the shots onto Monks. Oh, that's a bit rough. Sinner's going to feel himself for that one later. One in from Exotics. Germ backs up. Garrett goes down. Device is planted, but that was a little sloppy.
Oh, Tone picking off Germ on the front end here, and the rotation for the full front assault comes in, and the 2-player swing coming out as one goes down, but Tone Frost gets takes down 2, down to a 2v1.
It's all on Monks. He won the fight he shouldn't have. Theoretically. Shouldn't really be winning this either. He has to check the corner. Roach with the last bullet in the mag's going to finish him off. Zenith. So close. But yet, so far, you got to think Sinner gets away with a bit of a howler there.
Tone was in line to take out those 2 players there that are really in a difficult spot for them to start the retake, but looks like we're about to start the B play now. Try and close out this half, 5-3 for Jen, with a strong B presence.
An aggressive push out in the comboxes actually from Zenith has a very good spot versus this boost
Oh,
peak, but Exotics is getting pre-fired because of the predictability of where you have to play from to counter it. Smart Knowledge, PvPer gets one as well.
the site now has all but one player remaining on it as the two players try to converge to help. But gets spotted out by Roach, who's playing on the flank, and the final member on the site allows the bomb to go down. And it's down to a 1v2 now, as Tone is setting the tone and looking for the enemies.
I won't want to be Sinner right here, not after that last round. Smart play, I think. Only go the one. Back up to your teammate. Sinner and Germ just hold the angle together. 25 on the clock. Tone in a very tough position to be able to get in to challenge this.
Quick little spray down. Attempts to push in, finds one. Not quite yet, as the round goes in favor of Gen. 5-3 at the half. Strong start and finish from Jin here. But Sin definitely showed that they know the movement and rotations of this map. Definitely were able to contest them on the A site very heavily for the last foreseeable, like 3 rounds before they went B. So I think if they could have just locked in a little bit more, they could have had us on a tie half here. But right now, Jin is in the lead by 2.
Yeah, I think this is where we see a full slam from Zenith. I feel like the pace needs to be quick. That's a great grenade out of spawn. Tone finds the combox pick onto Sinner. 3 towards the B site, 2 through Heaven, 2 down low. That combox position fully taken up by Zenith now. Another one from Tone. Roach down.
Oh no, and full into the site they get. Bomb's going to go down, and it's down to a 2v5. Exotic goes for the quick swing, and Garrick cleans up PvP here, and that is going to be round number 9 in favor of Zen, 5-4.
I mean, I don't know how better to say it. Bruh, pace. Literally pace. That's how they've got to play this now. You can see that Generation have a slight bit more experience when the rounds are a bit slower. Generation are able to find the way to work them. But in heads-up gunfights, give Zenith the due. They've been doing a good job of challenging. A couple more rounds like that, and there's going to be a question mark or 2 over the scoreline.
Tone especially has been putting up some strong presence on this map.
13-6, the scoreline.
Playing more passive now. Uh-oh. Looks like Center's going to find the bomb and take it as Garrick tries to work his way into the B site. Does get in, but does not secure a kill. Does find one. Goes for the reload off the back end. Finds not the second to secure the round. Exotics from the flank there, taking down Center. And Tone there for the quick trade. Frost and Germ left in a 2v1 situation, but the bomb is down and in their favor. And there goes Frost off the back end, gonna claim Tone, and that's gonna be the round for Generations. 6-4.
Well played from Generation. Again, their awareness to this wrap potential for somebody to be in the backline pincering them has become more and more prevalent the further they've got into this best of 3 series, and they're doing a really good job of just respecting the fact that somebody could be behind them. And multiple times we've seen that flanking person come in. They've been good for one, but they're traded out immediately, which means that the amount of pressure you've taken off of the front siding face of the fight doesn't necessarily pay off in a 1-for-1.
Look at how smart Center is being here. He got naded that one round. He has not taken that same path since then and has changed paths ever so slightly just to secure the man advantage in locale.
Silly as it sounds, they do say that if you make a mistake once, more fool me, you know? Make the same mistake twice, more fool you in that sense. Like, it's just smart play. No ego. All logic. Repent's got the one when it comes to the heads-up gunplay versus Germ. That's going to be a big pickup for Zenith to knock him over quickly. Garrick's a good one for Frost as well for 2 down. Shots on Sinner and PvP don't quite find the mark. Finally, kills do come through in the favor of Generation. It's 3 quick knockovers. Suddenly the numbers flip and the tables have turned.
Oh, and now the final location of the remaining player is found. The shots come out, does not quite fully connect. Big swing in, finds the kill, and that's going to be the bomb defuse. 7-4 Generations slowly taking this lead and running away with it. Three big kills on Roach there to collect out that round to secure them.
I think Zenith is doing a better job of confusing the audience than they are of confusing their opponent at this moment in time. You definitely see a bit of confusion in both styles of the gameplay, but different Zenith. Same name, different team.
Very quick rush into parkour. This time, Sinner's not actually waiting in con. Very heavily stacked up here as Frost and Roach clear out 2. Sinner on the flank, runs straight through and finds 1. Garrick, though, and Monks claiming the kills they need to get. The 2 remaining players run from the A site to try and bolster the defenses on B, but it's too late already. The bomb has been planted, and they have made their successful way into the after plant positions.
Very interesting push out of both teams there as the empty mag...
going to check his right. No, Garrick's going to find him. Shots come out, not quite enough.
It's going to end up catching both players on toward. Front and back fight towards Forklift. Monks is just trying his best to kill the time down. Germ gets close and puts him in the dirt. Now for the 1v1, Germ versus Garrick.
Very little bullets left in this mag here.
Good positioning from Garrick as he fakes off, running for the cat and mouse Tom and Jerry play. Instead doubles back 180s and takes the heads-up gunfight. 4 on the round for Garrick. Zenith closed the gap back to 2. Not sure if it's going to be enough to take the game 2 in overtime. It's definitely going to put a bit of pep in the step for the Zenith team for the next couple of rounds. 7-5. Generation would like to put one in the bag here and get onto that match point just to put the pressure up that extra notch.
This is an interesting nade because when you think about it, they're not, even if they were full sprint and didn't stop, they would still not make it to that location by the time he threw that initial nade. So I'm wondering if it's possible that they're just trying to catch them on timing there. But Frost with a kill on Exotics into that con position as Roach takes out Tone. There's the big swinger as he goes down, and Roach is going to claim another Sherm onto Repent. Pick it up 2.
Your Generation look really clean right now. That double swing out of the con to hold the con push was very good.
A lot of situational awareness. They know they've been slamming B just about every round. They have not attempted A, so they decided they were just going to perk up and put a few more members over there to contest the site. Oh, that's an interesting nade. Oh, Sinner's walking out. He finds 2. Monks, though, gonna find Sinner. As the trade comes in, the tempo slows down. Oh, no. Calm down.
It's the worst
outside of
player to
back
see go
alley.
down for Zenith at this point in time as well, isn't it? In the position in no man's land, and it's the bomb that gets dropped there. Oh,
Oh, and we're looking like a wrap up here. If Tone cannot find these 4 players, he's going to be in for some trouble. Spray down through the box.
I mean, Tone's left in no man's land. He's at a distance mid to long fight with an MP7. He's going to be able to get good shots down onto Frost, but it's merely damage. Germ finishes it off. The game goes into the bag. Generation take 2-0 victory in the best of 3 after a 9-5 success on map number 2 on Bay 5. Commiserations. It might not be the victory that Zenith were looking for, but it was a great performance. We had some highlight plays and a couple of different moments. Obviously, Garrick having his 4-piece, the 1 mag. An exceptional performance out of Zenith, but it was not to be. Generation, your winners for day 1 from the pit.
Absolute amazing rounds coming out of all the players that have participated in today's pit. Wonderful to see all the action that NA is packing up for us. Some great moments and great plays coming out of all the different players here today. And I honestly, I kind of called it at the beginning. I thought Generations would be the one to kind of shine here so far, mostly because I know majority of their players and how they play, how they have that style. And it was well fought, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's a really good showing for a couple of the new teams as well. We got to see some new members stepping up to challenge some of the older rosters. I know that Cryo and company from Evasion were in the chat a little bit after their games, and they were gutted, and that the team in Zenith that took them down played out of the mines. An exceptionally well played game. So great to see some good sportsmanship in the chat from even the losing team on that side there. Shout out and a W comes from Evasion. GG to all 4 teams that took part today. Some great matches, like we said. Not everybody comes out a winner. That's the way tournaments go. But as always, everybody that turns up to take part in what makes this awesome performance absolutely is a winner. So, as a final thank you from us here at the pit, thanks for watching. All you guys out there in the audience that took the time out of your days to come and take part in enjoying the viewing experience, offering us your thoughts and opinions and feedback in the chat, supporting the players and cheering on your team's favorites, and all the work that goes on in the background. A list of multiple people. If your name's not shouted out right now, you're not forgotten, trust me. It's just that my brain cells are terrible. So we'll start from the top. We've had mods in here today that have been working alongside the teams, Mortak, Dream. We've got other staff that work on various different parts of the supporting structure, including production, cameras, all the hard work that goes into the spreadsheets and the prep. Thanks to Schmitty, Big Sky TV, Luke Goblin, and loads more, all right? There is always support surrounding this Vanguard gaming environment. That's why it's a delight to be here and work alongside them. And of course, it wouldn't be an exceptional broadcast without an exceptional caster to be able to sit alongside. A massive shout out and thank you to the man with the powers for joining me here in the booth today. It's always a pleasure to cast alongside another legend and another exceptional caster, Austin. I'll be having a great time. Any final words for the fans before we close it off and send it out to the abyss?
I think you about wrapped it all up there. I really appreciate the opportunity that has been given to me to come here today, especially to cast with a phenomenal yapper as yourself. But thanks again to all the mods and participants for coming out today, and we'll catch you next time.